Okay. USB.
Following a loss, the first of the season for the Bourne Braves, they are in Orleans to take on the Firebirds tonight here at Eldridge Park. Welcome to a pregame Tomahawk. I was going to say, welcome to Before the Bravos, our Braves pregame show alongside Nick Galley. I'm Calvin Cristoforo with you as always, breaking down game number 13 of the season. It's so weird to say, it's gone by so fast, but game number 13 of the Bourne Braves season tonight. And Nick, a 7 o'clock start, as always, here in Orleans, but a beautiful night for baseball.
Oh, great night. A little bit on the late side, Calvin. I mean, I got to get my beauty sleep.
I knew that was coming, but
yeah.
Saying from a guy who sleeps till noon every day, that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Oh my God! Well, I'm usually up till like 4 or 5 in the morning, so I got to get.
So you're playing two sides of the coin here. So you
know.
need to get your beauty sleep, but yet you're going to be up to 4 or 5 in the morning anyway.
Listen, it always ends. I like to try and get to bed early. I start laying in bed, but then you get on the phone, you start scrolling on Twitter, then it turns into a disaster.
So I don't think the time of the game tonight is going to affect your sleep.
Nah, man, I'm just being overly dramatic, I think.
Well, no need to be overly dramatic, and no need for the Braves fans to be overly dramatic. Sure, one loss. We all knew it was going to come at some point, or at least we all thought it in our heads and would never admit it. That was me. I thought in my head, we're probably going to lose a game at some point, but I would never, admit that out loud. Now I am, though, after the fact.
Well, yeah, 40-game season. It's baseball. You got to not have it one night. If you didn't, if the Bourne Braves went 38-0 this year, I guess, since 2 games have been canceled. If they went 36-0-2 rather, you'd be pretty surprised. That'd be the greatest season of Cape Cod League history, maybe like baseball history as well.
Yep.
So you knew a loss was coming. Stinks that it was last night against a team where there's been a little turmoil between the two, but nevertheless, a loss. It happens.
Yeah, you got to give all the credit to Katuit last night, winning only getting 2 or 3 hits. That is that one in question still that some people thought it was an error. The official score gave him a hit, so officially 3 hits for the Cavaliers last night. But their pitching staff was really, when their back was against the wall, they stepped up. They shredded, I think it was 10 or 11 guys on base last night. The Braves got 9 hits without scoring a run. So you got to get a lot of credit to the Cavaliers last night. They flat out beat the Braves.
Stranded way too many guys. Bourne's problems at home continue when it comes to scoring runs. It's a disturbing trend for a team that's been so good, 9-1-2 now on the season, when you're scoring 3 runs a game at home, and now it's definitely a little bit less after that. They got shut out last night. So I didn't do the math on it, but I guess they're scoring like around 2.5 runs per game, 2 runs per game now at home. At home,
yes.
Yeah. So when you're doing that at home, I mean, that's concerning. I said it last night, to you guys after the game. I'll say it again. If your pitching staff allows 2 runs in 9 innings, and it was really one mistake pitch from Zwack, that was a
singular, because he was stellar once again.
He was, yeah. It was a 2-run home run. If you only
with 2 outs too.
Exactly. If that's the only mistake you make all game, that's the only mistake your pitching staff makes is one pitch. It's a 2-run home run. And then you hold them the rest of the game, you need to be winning that game, especially if it's at home.
All right, Nick, you want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the bad news
The bad news is you're not looking at our beautiful faces on this YouTube live stream.
That's very true.
Because the good news is the Braves are on the road tonight.
Yes.
And when the Braves are on the road,
I like how you did that. That was nice.
It's a completely
good for you. That
different
was really
story.
Good.
I appreciate that, Nick.
That was really
good. It's
a
completely different story because this Braves offense has been nonstop on the road. The pitching staff, they've been just as good, I would say, home and road. And that starts with Jake Bennett again tonight, the left-handed pitcher, making his 3rd start of the season.
Second, right? Second, he was in relief last time.
He was in relief last time. 3rd
yeah.
appearance of the season, 2nd start. Had the start against Brewster game 2 of the season, and was great. I'm looking for him to try to replicate that performance from the opening night in Brewster.
Yeah, I think he is more of a starter than a reliever. He looked fine in relief. I think he gave up a couple earned in that relief appearance. But when he started against Brewster, he looked real solid.
Great.
I think this is a guy that is much better in the starting role, and we're going to see if he can kind of go along with that, interpretation of his pitching that I have. We're going to see if he can continue on that tonight.
And his Firebirds team, I had a conversation with their sideline reporter, a good friend of mine, Noah Sears, and you can check that out on our Twitter or YouTube page. But he was telling me, I joked with him, I said, this is a Firebirds team that they've been the Firebirds one night, but the Cold Birds the next night.
You're on one tonight,
They've had a real up-and-down season. You look at their run differential, they're very much in the positive, but they're just 6-5-1 now here in Game 13 of the year. And he told me the wind could be a major factor tonight because he was saying that the Firebirds, their trend all season has been getting runs in with the long ball. And it's not a very deep park. If you've ever been here to Eldridge Park, it's only 314 down the line in right field, a flat 300. In left field, it is 434 feet in dead center. But with the wind blowing in, that could affect the Firebird strategy. The ball's not going to be flying out of the park like it usually is. So that could be advantage Jake Bennett, and that could be advantage Braves.
I think so. I mean, this pitching staff's been incredible. The only time we've really seen them get shook up is when they give up the long ball, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Because teams really don't string runs together against the Braves for the most part. So you got the wind blowing in. You got the fence really deep. No one's hitting it dead center. Frank Thomas has been the only guy to do that at this field. Ever. So that tells you something right there. 350 in left center, 359 in right center. I just got a decent view of that now finally. So it's a deep ballpark, and I think the Braves do have the advantage here. If this Orleans team has been living and dying by the home run ball, it's not going to be a good night for home runs.
And I'm glad you mentioned that the Braves have given up a majority of the runs on the home runs, and you just think about it, right? And it's 100% true. Last night against Kitu, at 100% of the runs on the long ball. You go back to the big innings they've given up. The Wareham comeback, the first time we played the Gateman, that was a 6-5 game that
Couple
Wareham
home runs,
battled back with 2 home runs. And against Falmouth, that 13-8 night, it was 13-8 because there was a grand slam and a 2-run home run. So when the Braves give up the home run ball, Nick, you're exactly right. That is when this pitching staff struggles. So I think, for me, that's at least key number 1 for the Braves' success tonight.
Yeah, I can live with that, too. That's the thing. I can live with giving up a home run because the way I look at it is, very rarely do you see grand slams hit. Very rarely do you see 3-run home runs hit. Most of the time, you're going to get a 2-run shot or a solo shot. Sure, 3-run home runs happen sometimes.
And they sting when they do
They
though.
really sting. But obviously, grand slams, more rare. We've seen one this year. And it was in that Falmouth game, as you had mentioned.
And luckily, the Braves were up 8-1 at the time.
Yeah, so they had the insurance. So I can live with giving up the home run ball because that means you're making, for the most part, one mistake pitch. It's out. You get it out of your system. What I can't live with is when you're walking guys, leaving pitches over the plate. Guys are getting extra base hits, followed by singles, followed by walks, because that's when 5 or 6 runs are coming in an inning. Braves, for the most part, it's been a home run here, a home run there. Stings at the moment, but usually their offense can recover. And tonight, with the conditions, I don't think we're going to see a lot of home runs from either side.
It's still bold, though, especially you look at 300 down the left field line, and you can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler Fedko was putting it out. Colby Thomas was putting it out in practice.
And in batting practice today,
Caden Wallace was.
In batting practice today, Dalton Rushing hit one on the roof of the garage over the Orleans bullpen. I don't know what it is. I'm calling it a garage. It looks like some sort of, I think it says Fieldhouse grandstand or a bandstand. I think it's a bandstand.
A bandstand.
A bandstand out there. So he put one off the roof of that. So maybe the Braves can get into one tonight, and hopefully the Bourne Braves pitching staff can limit the balls that leave the ballpark tonight. But let's go through this Braves lineup as we always do.
It's a unique one.
It's a completely different lineup. No Lampy in the lineup tonight. No Christian Knapchick in the lineup tonight. So who's going to lead off, you ask? Well, Coach Harvey Shapiro is leading off Kyler Fedko.
Yeah, Kyler Fedko, he got a new bat today, and I heard him in BP. He said it felt real good. He enjoyed swinging it. And God, he was looking good. As I said, he put a couple out over in left field, and they were some bombs. So he was looking good in BP. Last night he had one I swore was gone.
I think so.
That ball.
He kind of watched it fly
he
too,
did.
like he thought it was gonna go.
And, well, I talked with him after the game last night, and he said, "Oh, I thought I got that," and I was like, "Yeah,
that's twice he's been."
Yes, I was like, we were all sitting up there. We all thought you had that, and just missed it. So I'm looking to see what Kyler Fedko does tonight, but I think he's starting to feel really good with his swing.
And he's playing in center field, and it's a real shame that he's starting to feel really good right now because we expect him to be gone in the coming weeks with the MLB draft coming up. But he's leading off playing center. Max Anderson, who has come out of the gates red hot. I asked him after the game last night if there was any transition period. He said no. I'm just keeping it simple, playing the game of baseball. He's not in the field tonight, but Coach Harvey Shapiro at this point cannot take him out of the lineup. So he's doing the designated hitting, and he's hitting second.
Max Anderson kind of scares me because
he should scare everybody.
He scares me because he comes in and he's like stone cold. Like usually, I totally get guys having a game or two to transition, but this kid's come in and he's been incredible. He's hitting well over 400 now. He seems to have a multi-hit performance night in and night out. I think he has gotten at least one hit in all 4 games here in Bourne, I believe. But he's been incredible. he has been incredible. And I think to have that talent come in right after a guy like Reggie Crawford leaves has been huge for this team.
He flat out rakes. There's no denying that. Another guy who's been hitting the ball very well, Dalton Rushing. He's batting third back at first base. You look at his stat line from last night, a 1-for-4 performance, did have a double, but he hit the ball on the screws 3 times. He got robbed of 2 base hits.
Oh.
He was frustrated in the dugout. Not like throwing things frustrated, but just like, I wish those went through, because it's hard. That's the game of baseball, but hopefully, a hard hit ball like that is an out sometimes, but a bloop hit off the end of the bat is a hit sometimes. So
baseball is a cruel game.
All Dalton needs to do for me is keep hitting the ball hard.
Just do what he's doing. It's simply put. I mean, he had that 2-run home run a couple games ago, and I think ever since then he's kind of been in a nice little rhythm.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been really good. You picked him to pop last night. We'll get into that conversation in a little bit, but I had Max Anderson, you had Dalton Rushing.
I'll give that to you,
okay,
honestly.
I'll take it.
He had a couple hits last night. I'll give that to you.
He was 2 for 4. Caden Wallace back in the lineup tonight. He had a pinch hit opportunity in the 9th inning last night. He is in the lineup tonight. He's back in right field. He's hitting in the cleanup spot.
Pinch hit last night. He walked, but before that, when he had been starting, he had looked really good. So I like what I've been seeing from him.
He's hitting 4th. Braylon Wimmer, he's had a couple of hits last night. He's playing left field, hitting 5th. We're going to take a quick pause here for the national anthem. We're going to come back for the rest of Before the Bravos, our Braves pregame show. Well, it looks like they're not quite ready to do the national anthem here. We thought they were coming on the field.
We don't know what's going on.
Guess we had a couple of minutes left. We were talking about Braylon Wimmer, who had 2 hits last night. He played second base last night, moving to the outfield tonight. He's hitting 5th.
How many? Didn't he have 3 hits last night?
Did he have 3 hits last night?
I think so. 3, yeah. Yeah, 3.
Hits,
he had 3. 3 singles. Yeah, I mean, I liked how he was looking last night. He had struggled a little bit before last night.
Because remember, on Friday night against Falmouth, he was 0 for 4, and he had 3 strikeouts in that game.
He did, yeah. So that was a really nice bounce-back game from Braylon Wimmer. And if I'm him, I'm just trying to carry that momentum over into tonight.
Zach Agnos, who's hitting behind him, he had the night off as well last night. He had a pinch hit at bat in the 9th inning. A game, though, where he really swung at the first pitch in an opportunity where he probably shouldn't have. Grounded at the first base in the 9th inning, but he saw the ball well the last time out. He was in the game, so he is hitting 6th, playing at third base.
So yeah, last night the pinch hit at bat. I believe before that he went 1 for 3 with a walk a couple nights ago against Wareham. So he's another guy. I mean, a few games ago he cranked that triple to right center.
Yep.
So he's another guy that, I don't think offense has been his main contribution to this team. I think defense has.
He's been great defensively.
Great defensively, but we've definitely seen some flashes of the offense. I remember earlier in the season, cranked out that home run. I think that was a Falmouth game.
That was the first Falmouth game.
Falmouth game. See, man, the season
all blends together.
I know. I just remember these tidbits, but he's another guy that can kind of surprise you a little bit. And if you can get contributions from him offensively at the bottom of the order, all the better.
All the better is right. And Nick Goodwin, a guy who had that breakout game against Falmouth, but since then has really, really been quiet. You would love to him get back in the action tonight. He's at second base hitting 7th.
Yeah, he's another guy who just really needs to I think him and Josh Moylan are two guys that really need to just get a couple hits to get in some type of rhythm. And Nick Goodwin is one of those guys, as I had said. So if I'm Goodwin tonight again, I'll say what I said about Josh Moylan last night. I'm just trying to get on base.
And now we're gonna pause for national anthem. We'll be right back with the rest of the Braves lineup and of course our picks to pop on the other side. You're listening to Before the Bravos, our Braves pregame show. A great live rendition of the national anthem here at Eldridge Park, and if you heard during that singing the national anthem, the wind is still blowing in, which we talked about earlier, Nick, could be a good sign for the Bourne Braves tonight. We're at the 8th spot in the order, and it's kind of now been a dead split. One night on, one night off, one night on, one night off. Last night, it was Colton Bender. He actually hit 5th in the lineup last night doing the catching duties. Tonight, it's Peter Burns. He's hitting 8th.
Peter Burns, you got Jake Bennett transitioning back to a starting role after his relief appearance. I'm looking for Peter Burns to call a great game.
And then Tanner Schobel rounds out this Braves lineup. He's at shortstop hitting 9th. A 1-for-3 night for him last night.
2 for 3 last night.
2 for 3 night for him.
Don't short Tanner Schobel. He's been really good in that 9 spot for the most part. Hits over 360, so I'm looking to see what he does tonight.
All right, how much do you like Tanner Schobel? Who's your pick to pop tonight?
Without a doubt, it's Kyler Fetko.
Wow, that is okay. If I'm say this, I'm going with Reeves said in the pregame show that there's going to be 3 home runs to hit that night. If there is 3 home runs hit tonight, Caden Wallace gets 2 of them.
That's a bold move.
If one translates to the other, that's what I'm going with.
All right.
I got Caden Wallace as my pick to pop tonight. Just about game time here from Eldridge Park. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates have the call. Enjoy the game, everybody.
After the Bourne Braves' winning streak was snapped a night ago against the Cotuit Kettleers, they look to begin a new one here at the hands of the Orleans Firebirds. Live from Eldridge Park here in Orleans, Massachusetts, Reeves Jackson joined by Daniel Coates' first pitch, almost among us, Daniel, in a new-look Braves lineup that has Kyler Fetko leading the Braves off against the right-hander Dawson Ketz.
And you know, although the special run is over, it doesn't mean that the special season is over, because I'll tell you what, these guys, we haven't seen them have to bounce back from a loss. I'm interested to see how that looks, and we're seeing a different lineup today. Obviously, Kyler Fetko is digging in as the righty to lead off this game.
Dawson Ketz, the right-hander, has appeared in one game this year through one inning as Kyler Fedko steps in and sends a pop-up behind the plate, heading towards foul territory and out of play. So the Braves lineup, Daniel, tonight, Kyler Fedko leading things off playing center, batting second, the DH Max Anderson. Third at first is Dalton Rushing, batting fourth in right field, Caden Wallace. You mentioned those guys in the middle of the lineup moving up. Braylon Wilmer batting fifth and left, Zach Agnos sixth at third, Nick Goodwin batting seventh at second, Peter Burns batting eighth doing the catching, and batting ninth rounding out the lineup at shortstop is Tanner Schobel. Two notables, you don't have Joe Lampe or Christian Knapczyk in the lineup tonight.
No, which is interesting. You know, we saw Joe Lampe last night, Christian Knapczyk pinch hit later on in the game. That was the ninth inning.
That ball gets Kyler Fedko on the back on the second pitch of the night. The Braves will take that. Fedko okay, got him flush, and Fedko jogs down to first. The Braves have a leadoff base runner on the hit by pitch.
But as I was saying, as Kyler Fedko trots down to first, it's going to be an interesting look. Is Harvey Shapiro really changing it up? Kyler Fedko already proving that he can be the leadoff guy. I know he just kind of stepped into that one, but he's a tough kid. He can shake it off. It looks like he already has, but an interesting look. No Joe Lampe. He's been a bit cold as of late, so Max Anderson and Kyler Fedko trying to take the place of Knapczyk and Joe Lampe.
Gets the Arizona right-hander, the Wildcat, who, as Anderson sprays that one foul. A lot of fans here at Orleans, one of the cool ballparks, one of the coolest ones we've gotten to experience thus far. But obviously Arizona was in the College World Series, so now Dawson Ketz joining the team a little late. His first appearance was July 2nd in a 19-6 win against Brewster. Went one inning, did not allow a hit, struck out two, and retired the side in order. From Sierra Madre, California, 6'1", 190-pound rising junior with the Wildcats.
He only had 2 starts for the Wildcats, so that's something to keep an eye on tonight. We wonder how that plays into his psyche, especially as a pitcher, coming into a game against a 9-1-2 Bourne Braves team and already hitting the leadoff batter in Kyler Fedko.
A breaking ball misses in the dirt to Anderson, 1-1 the count, but although just 2 starts, Daniel, 28 appearances, so 26 relief outings for Dawson Ketz, and in those outings, a 4.50 ERA across 34 innings. He struck out 36, only walked 10 at opponents just at 2.05 against him. Kyler Fedko almost picked off over there at first. He just gets the hand in there, according to the first base umpire tonight. The defense alignment for the Firebirds, left to right, McKenzie, Cox, and DeLauder. Third to first, Locklear, Marcano, Chardonnay, and Marcano, and Mickness behind the plate. Another check on Fedko, and just getting in. Kyler Fedko keeping it super tight over there.
He's
at first.
keeping it really interesting
Too tight.
over there. You know what? If he can really gauge that and gauge the type of moves that net is bringing over to first, then we might see a pass ball. Who knows what could happen?
This one is skied over towards the third base left field line. And that one is going to drop out of play foul. So Dawson nets. Number 40, the right-hander on the mound. Born August 3rd, 2000. And if you noticed 2 defenders on Orleans with the same last name, Marcanos at short and first, yes, they are twins, actually. We were told they were born 5 days apart. I'm sorry, 5 minutes apart. My goodness.
Well, the poor mother.
My goodness, totally misspoke. Anderson is going to slice this one into right. Right there is DeLauder. A hard hit ball by Anderson, but right at the right fielder, 1 down.
Yeah, it spoiled the comment that I was going to make, but Max Anderson coming into the game 7 for 16. A great start for the Braves. Solid contact to right field there. It flared right towards the right fielder DeLauder, but he has made an impact early and often.
Windy, blusterous day here in Orleans as Dalton Rushing steps to the plate, batting third, playing first today. Another check on Fedko, and he's back in there safely, so keeping Fedko busy is Nets. In yesterday's game, Dalton Rushing was 1 for 4, average on the season at .333 entering today. Nets comes set at the belt. Pauses, kicks and fires, and a fastball that is outside. Ball 1 to Rushing. Dalton Rushing, 11 for 33 on the season. 7 runs scored, 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 5 driven in. He has struck out 11 times, which is tied for third most strikeouts on the team, behind Wimmer, Fedko, and Moylan. Caden Wallace batting cleanup. He's on deck. Nets 1-0. A fastball that misses just a little downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Daniel, what's the key tonight for the Braves to win? You mentioned in our Tomahawk talk being aggressive on the base pass was something you would like to see today.
I would, and we're already seeing that from Kyler Fedko over there at first. But I would like to see, make the defense, force them to make a play, see what we can do. Try to cause some chaos out there because it didn't work for us last night. I thought Tanner Schobel, I should say, had an opportunity to round third early on in the game.
Rushing skies, this one high and deep to left center. Cox and McKenzie converging. That wind is playing a major factor. That ball just kept drifting over to left when McKenzie calls off the center fielder. Cox makes the catch, 2 down. Something notable about this field is the dimensions of it. 300 down the left field line, 314 feet down the right field line, and get this, to dead center, 434 feet deep. The old soccer grounds here.
And the only player that we talked to the broadcasters before, the only player of Fort Orleans, they only know of one person who has hit it dead center over that 435 mark, and that is a man by the name of Frank Thomas.
Yeah,
a few years back.
The Big Hurt, and you know why he has that nickname. When you can take one that deep. Lights are on here at Eldridge Park in Orleans, and as I mentioned, a great crowd still filing in on what was a sunny, now turned a little cloudy Tuesday night, 75 degrees at first pitch. Just at 7 o'clock, Caden Wallace steps in, first pitch fastball, called strike, 0-1. The story of the Braves yesterday is getting runners on to begin the inning and then not being able to bring those runners home. And here to start the game, Fedko aboard by the hit by pitch, but Anderson a little unlucky on a hard line drive to right. Rushing skied out to left. Caden Wallace, here the 4-hitter. On deck is Wimmer, who was 3 for 3, was on base all 4 times yesterday against Katuitt, as Wallace spoils this one foul towards the Braves dugout.
Yeah, 11 men left on base yesterday. In our first loss to the Katuitt Kettleers and our first loss of the entire season. And the reason why was just because we couldn't string together the hits that we had. 9 hits, but none of them came at the opportune times. So really need to find that consistency within the lineup.
As Calvin mentioned, averaged a hit per inning on yesterday's postgame show. 1-1 here to Wallace. He's swinging away, but late on that fastball and skies it well out of play off of the brick building, just to our right over the Orleans dugout on the first base side. Braves in the third base dugout wearing their navy blue uniforms, gray pants, red piping, red numerals, and white trim on the jersey. Orleans in the red cap, black brim, black jerseys, white Orleans lettering, and white numerals on the back, with the red trim as Wallace skies this one out of play to stay alive, and wearing the all-white pants. No trim on them. And no piping, I should say. Wind moving at about 12 to 14 miles an hour tonight, in from right center field. So that'll play a major factor tonight. 1-2 to Wallace. Breaking ball hitter. Good stop there by Nickness behind the plate. Daniel, what have you seen so far from Nets?
Well, I think Nets is really just sticking with the fastball. We saw that breaking ball dipped low into the dirt, but he's getting pretty much worked by these Bourne Braves. Even if they're not getting hits, they're really causing him to work in the first inning. I think the wind is going to be a real factor today as it's blowing, as you said, in.
Well, Caden Wallace swings through a 1-2 fastball, and Dawson Nets strikes out Wallace to end the inning. A leadoff hit by pitch, and then 3 consecutive outs sends Jake Bennett to the mound. We'll tell you more about the Oklahoma lefty when we come back from Eldridge Park. Back with you, bottom of the first inning, as the Orleans Firebirds do up here against a big, tall lefty, Jake Bennett. Daniel making his third appearance on the season, but just his second start.
Yeah, we saw him in the tie against Chatham and the 9-1 win against Brewster. Only his second start, so still a decent amount to prove, but he pitched fairly well. Only let up to 2 runs in Chatham, none in the 4 innings pitched against Brewster. He has the ability, the kid from the Big 12 Oklahoma Sooner. He's going to have to deal with this blustery weather we have here in Orleans, as well as a hot Firebirds team.
Yeah, an Orleans team that had won 3 in a row prior to their loss to Brewster a night ago, 5-2, as the Bourne Braves still lead the league in run differential. Orleans, though, second out there in the Eastern Division. Leadoff hitter is Peyton Chardonnay, as he'll step in and swing and a miss through a Jake Bennett fastball. Lineup tonight for the Firebirds: Peyton Chardonnay, second baseman, leading things off. Rylan Thomas batting second, the DH batting third. Connor Cox in center, fourth. Chase DeLauder in right. Fifth, Tyler Locklear at third, batting sixth. Jared McKenzie in left. Seventh is Julio Marcano at first. Eighth, Justin Bickness, the catcher, and ninth, David Marcano. The shortstop, the 0-1 here to Chardonnay, is a ball upstairs and a little outside. 1 ball and 1 strikes. When you take a look at this Orleans Firebirds offense, it is an offensive juggernaut thus far early on, as that third pitch of the at-bat delivered in for a strike to Chardonnay. They have the Cape League leader in home runs, which is Chase DeLauder. 5 home runs, 11 driven in. Right behind him, one of the leaders in runs driven in is Tyler Locklear.
I'll take that with a grain of salt, because without this wind, a 300 field fence is, that could be a flare and it drifts out to the left field.
You're right about that. That is by far the shallowest left field we have here in the Cape.
But that's also complemented by Chardonnay for the Orleans Firebirds. He became the first player to hit a grand slam within the first 2 games of his Cape League career since White Sox outfielder and 29 number 3 overall pick Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah, Andrew Vaughn is tearing it up with the Shy Sox as Chardonnay grounds this one foul towards the Braves dugout, stays alive 1-2. So Jake Bennett was touched up a little in that first inning of relief, his last outing against the Chatham Anglers when Andrew Taylor started that game. As the wind whips here, and it is a major factor. We talked to the Orleans broadcaster saying that it could bode well for the Braves, as Orleans, a team that lives and dies by the home run ball. There's a nice job by Chardonnay, fouls that one back to the screen, staying alive.
Yeah, we saw a couple guys in batting practice poke one out. Kyler Fedko had a couple. He was hit in his first appearance leading off, but even with the win, there's still that opportunity to send one out of here at Eldridge Field.
1-2 here from Jake Bennett. He turns to the breaking ball, and it is swung on and missed. Strike 3. So a good start for Jake Bennett. He gets Chardonnay on strikes. 1 down for the league's leading hitter. Daniel, it's Rylan Thomas, who is batting .450 on the season, and not a big guy at all out of the left-handed batter's box. Rylan Thomas, just a 6-foot, 175-pounder from USC, Southern California, that is. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch is grounded over to short. Tanner Schobel up. Beautiful throw to first.
Wow.
And Schobel looking like he did yesterday against the Kettleers defensively, 2 away.
Schobel looked like he didn't even need his glove. It went right into the palm, the base of the glove. Flicked it over, almost Derek Jeter-esque. But they're going to get the best batter there, Rylan Thomas. He's 18 for 40 coming into the game with a .450 average, 7 RBIs. But just like that, Jake Bennett making quick work in the bottom of the first 2 outs.
3-0 hitter with the luscious locks flowing out of the helmets. Number 36, Tyler Cox. He's got the red handle with the ash barrel, and Cox on the season, 9 for 41, so just a 220 clip. No homers, 4 driven in, so a bit of a slower start compared to the rest of these Orleans Firebirds players offensively. Jake Bennett fires in a strike on 1-0. It's 1-1. Outside corner, good pitch.
Cox from Long Beach State University. He actually started his season with Long Beach, a 27-game on-base streak. Just the guy you want in that 3 spot.
And the 1-1 grounded over to second. Nick Goodwin gobbles it up, throws to Dalton Rushing, and Jake Bennett with a 1-2-3 impressive bottom half of the first. The Braves offense will come back in the top of the second, looking to get runs on the board for Jake Bennett. It'll be Braylon Wimmer, Zach Agnos, Nick Goodwin when Daniel and I come back right here from Orleans. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates happy to be back with you here on the Bourne Braves audio live stream from Eldridge Park. And Dawson Netz, who gave up that first batter hit by pitch, but then shut down the Braves' next three hitters after that. Daniel, tell us a little bit more about what we should see and what we should know about Dawson Netz.
Well, I'm not necessarily sure how long he'll go as a starter. Even here, it says it started Game 3 of the Super Regional versus Ole Miss.
Wow.
In their win, that one propelled them to Omaha, but he had the most appearances for the Wildcats coming out of the bullpen in the 2021 season. So he is one of the best pitchers, but just the longevity is the question.
Dropping down a bunt there is Braylon Wimmer. He runs well. The throw is grabbed over there before Wimmer ran into the glove of Marcano. A strike to first by Netz, who made a good play fielding his position. One down on a first pitch bunt attempt.
Here comes Zach Agnos. We saw him last night. He pinch hit back in the 9th. I believe that was for Colby Thomas.
I believe you are correct. Or it was for Joshua Moylan.
Joshua Moylan.
One Pirate for another. Agnos in the lineup batting 6 today. Wimmer, who just got out on the bunt attempt, was 3 for 3 and got on base via a walk. So it was on base 4 times as a 2-1 count here to, I should say a 1-0 count here to Zach Agnos. Excuse me. First pitch ball, and now Agnos slices one down the right field line. It's fair. Rolling to the out of play portion of the field. It's still in play. Agnos takes the turnaround first and will easily stand up at second. It is a 1-out double for Agnos, who's swinging a hot stick lately.
Beautiful piece of hitting for Zach Agnos, improving on his .217 average coming in. He's now 6 for 24 on the season. We know how good he is defensively. It's so important for him to light it up offensively tonight if we want to come away with a win, and he's showing that he has the potential to do it tonight. 1 for 1.
Nick Goodwin, who's been on a bit of a slide of late, looking to turn things around in the 7th spot. This is where the Braves struggled so much yesterday and a bit over the course of the past 3 or 4 games. When they're trying to score runs, it's when they have runners in scoring position, or just runners on in general, and less than 2 outs. We'll see if Goodwin can bring Agnos home as Netz steps off the back of the rubber.
And again, this is the opportunity early on in the game that has the potential to set the tone. Only 1 out here, and the ability for the Braves to jump on Netz is there for the taking. Nick Goodwin could have a comeback game. He's been on a bit of a slide since that first game we traveled to Gov Fuller against the Falmouth Commodores.
Breaking ball called strike to Goodwin. 4 of Nick Goodwin's 6 hits came in that first start that he garnered against the Falmouth Commodores, in which he blasted a home run from Overland Park, Kansas. 6'1", 190-pound sophomore to be after the COVID year. 6 for 25, a .240 clip on the season for Goodwin. I'll watch the 0-1, a fastball miss a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike as Goodwin asks the home plate umpire where it missed to try to get a gauge of the strike zone early on.
Goodwin does have 1 homer and 3 RBIs. Hopefully this will make it for Zach Agnos taking a lead at second. No one really covering, but he does have speed. We saw him a couple games ago with that triple to right center.
We sure did. Goodwin whiffs through a fastball, trying to break out of his 0 for 15 slide at the plate. His last hit was actually, well, I should say, excuse me, 1 for 15 slide. He did get a base hit against the Wareham Gateman, pardon me. Goodwin in that game also picked up an RBI on a bases loaded walk. Plate discipline has been a strong suit for the Braves early on in this season.
And something that we learned last night is that the Braves really ought to get off to a hot start. Protecting a lead and defending that lead for the game is really their comfort zone. Battling back, we see that they can. We've had experience with that even later in the game.
1-2, Nick Goodwin swings and misses for strike 3. He's down on strikes, and here comes Peter Burns.
And even later in the game, when it seems like we don't have the it factor for that game to win it, we still make it close. So I really want to see in the next couple of innings them produce some sort of lead. Peter Burns will be up to the plate with an opportunity for an RBI, but getting ahead in the game has been crucial and has been a huge reason why the Braves sit at 9-1-2.
Peter Burns has collected 3 hits over his last 4 games, is 3 for 12 on the season, a .250 average, has drawn 4 walks. It's something where the Bourne Braves have excelled in, as I mentioned. They are 4th in the league in bases on balls with 50, 10 behind the leader in the Harwich Mariners. A Bourne team that leads the league in hits coming into play today with a 14-hit lead over the Cotuit Kettleers. First pitch there, a fastball to Peter Burns, and he swings and misses high in the zone, 0-1.
Pete taking over for Colton Bender. He's 3 for 12 with a .250 average. He had a pair of doubles back at Doran Park. We like saying that he is the heart and soul of this team. Whenever he gets a hit or gets on base, the dugout for the Braves just goes crazy.
Yeah, they sure do. They love him. 0-1. Nets deals to Burns, and that's downstairs. Good stop right there by Mickness. Agnos thought about taking third, but decides better off to hold at second. Tanner Schobel awaits on deck. 9-hole hitter for the Bravos, who had a pair of hits yesterday and made some excellent plays over the middle defensively at shortstop. Made a nice play in the first for Jake Bennett on the second batter that Bennett faced in Ryland Thomas. 1-1 here to Burns. A fastball catches the outside corner, and the count runs to 1-2 in favor of Dawson Nets.
After Tanner Schobel, we will go to the top of the order with Kyler Fedko. I like Fedko at that 1 position, even though we're not seeing Joe Lampe. I would, he really sets the tone, but Kyler Fedko has been on an upward trend as of late. The Yukon Husky and Big East Player of the Year in 2021.
1-2 to Burns. Breaking ball that he skies down the right field line, but into the host of fans. Well, foul. Obviously, the fencing ends right as you get maybe a quarter of the way down, not even, less than a quarter of the way down that right field line, just behind the dirt into the grass, and perpendicular does that fence end. If you draw a line straight there.
Just have to straighten that out. Peter Burns got all of the barrel on that pitch from Nets, so just line it up and center it up.
1-2 fastball, and a called strike 3, inner half. Peter Burns won't complain. He'll try to get that call for his pitcher, Jake Bennett, but the Braves get a 1-out double from Zach Agnos and 2 strikeouts to boot. Strands Agnos at second. We head to the home half as we are all knotted up at 0 early on. Welcome back here to Eldridge Park. Reeves Jackson, Daniel Coates, happy to have you along with us. Where the wind, Daniel, will not seem to slow down at all.
No,
It's a windy night.
You look towards center here at Eldridge Park, and that American flag just whipping about. And, you know, any opportunity of a home run ball might be diminished here. We actually have the home run leader of the Cape Cod League, DeLauder. He's 11 for 39. He'll start things off against Jake Bennett. He has 5 homers on the season and 11 RBIs, so he's a dangerous, dangerous player at the plate. But this win might help the case for the Braves.
As DeLauder sprays the first pitch, a fastball from Jake Bennett, something we have yet to tell you about. He sprayed that one over the street right behind us here. The road here that runs straight through Orleans, one of the routes, and right behind us, literally. I could climb over one fence, and then that other fence would be right within my vicinity to climb right over, and I'd be on the road. But the second pitch there from Bennett misses inside 1-1.
Yeah, and the wind is not helping. It's going to propel these foul balls right towards the cars whipping by.
1-1, beautiful breaking ball from Bennett, called strike on the outer half. Something that we've been told from Orleans, surprisingly, there's not a car that's been hit so far. I would have a hard time believing it.
The only one we've seen was at Katuitt. That was
Yes.
Bull Park.
1-2 into DeLauder. A knuckleball spin on that ball off the bat, but a liner into center field. And the first hit of the game here for the Orleans Firebirds. Second hit of the game overall, and DeLauder aboard for the leadoff single.
And DeLauder will be the first base runner of the game for the Braves and Jake Bennett. But a good start so far from Jake Bennett. He's throwing strikes, and that's the story thus far. 12 strikes on 3 balls. And something we haven't talked about, we've mentioned the wind as far as hitting, but to get this ball, as if Jake Bennett didn't need any more velocity, this wind is helping it. It's almost like going into a jet stream right into Peter Burns' glove. But that fastball has much more velocity with the wind pushing in.
First pitch missed outside there to Locklear. No, 1 ball and no strikes. As you mentioned, that wind is going to play a major factor on this game, especially potentially for Orleans. 1-0 misses, high and outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Locklear. Second on this team in strikeouts with 14. But a .275 hitter, 4 home runs, and 14 RBIs. And you take a look at the league leaders in runs driven in. And right up there at the top, number 1 is Locklear. For a team that has scored a lot of runs on the season, and in fact the most runs of any team in the Cape. They have scored 73, and for comparison the Braves have scored 61, but have only allowed 27 compared to Orleans allowing 52, as this one skied to right. On the move is Caden Wallace. That ball is going to land foul deep down that right field line. It's not far to get to that right field foul pole, which is just 314 feet away from home plate.
And that foul ball is all due to the wind here. Tyler Locklear from Abington, Maryland. He actually he led the conference, that's the Atlantic 10, in runs, RBIs, on-base percentage, and slugging.
Yes, at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth. And a big power bat. Not a breakout full season for the Rams, as he watches that fastball low. And Bennett has run the count to 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, and Locklear has 14 RBIs on the season, so his time with VCU has carried over here on the Cape and with the Orleans Firebirds.
No walks on the season yet for Jake Bennett, but in danger of issuing his first. 3-1 here to Locklear. And a fastball that skied into right. This one also heading for the fans. They scatter. That ball lands in the grass in front of a few fans. So the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Locklear, Daniel, seeming to be a little late on this Jake Bennett fastball that can reach 93, 94 miles an hour.
Yeah, again, and I think that's the wind adding more velocity to Jake Bennett's fastball. Let's talk down that right field. Boy, they're going to get a lot of action if you're out in the crowd on the hill here at Eldridge Park, because the wind is whipping right towards you.
Beautiful pitch, called strike 3. A changeup that comes back and catches that inside corner. Locklear goes down for the 15th time, now tied for the team lead. A big out for Jake Bennett to prevent the first two runners from getting on base.
Yeah, that is massive for Jake Bennett, confidence-wise and situationally. Here comes McKenzie, 9 for 38, 2 RBIs on the season, but still at first is DeLauder.
Now DeLauder on the run, trying to get to second. Peter Burns' throw bounces and is a little late. Good jump there for DeLauder. He swipes second base. And now the Orleans Firebirds have a man in scoring position. The lefty, McKenzie, in the batter's box for the Firebirds. And Jared McKenzie, 6 foot, 185 pounds from Baylor, a junior to be. A lot of lefties in this Orleans lineup, which should fare well for Jake Bennett. But the lefty-lefty matchups that should favor him with the way he wants his changeup and breaking ball to attack these hitters.
McKenzie's a dangerous batter. Big 12 first-team selection. Batted .383 with the Baylor Bears. With DeLauder on second, Jake Bennett needs to be careful on the mound.
Breaking ball that finds his zone. Good pitch from Jake Bennett. Just dropped right in there off the table, 1-1. And for a guy who's only 185 pounds and 6 feet tall, I wouldn't really expect his favorite player to be David Ortiz. But, no. I mean, that's a great person to emulate your game after if you're a left-handed hitter. Maybe that's why. That is one of the best left-handed swings in baseball history. Is this one sprayed off into the woods behind us. And McKenzie now down on the count, 1-2.
He's actually second in average and in hits in the Big 12 this past season. So McKenzie, I mean, how about the lineup that Orleans has constructed here? Just, you said it best, batting juggernauts in the batter's box.
It was DeLauder's first stolen base of the season, as that breaking ball from Bennett misses high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The outfielder, center fielder Fedko, shading McKenzie a hair to the left side of the second base bag from our vantage point, nearly behind home plate. 2-2 from Bennett, a fastball that is spoiled into about the same spot the other pitch was, into the trees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down, in a 0-0 game, bottom of the second inning. And we looked at the forecast as this wind keeps whipping, calling for a 50% chance of thunderstorms at 9 p.m. and off in the distance, getting a little darker as we're still about an hour away from sunset completely. Sun's going down. This one grounded to second on the 2-2. That's going to eat up Nick Goodwin, and heading to first and safe is McKenzie. So an E4 there will hurt Jake Bennett. And the Orleans Firebirds in danger of striking first. Runners on the corners and just 1 down for Julio Marcano.
Yeah, that could be a costly mistake. The ball jumped right off the bump between the dirt and the grass. Nick Goodwin taking over for Braylon Wimmer, who we saw yesterday in that loss to the Catuit Kettleers. Peter Burns is giving the signs now in a first and third situation, but Nick Goodwin has to make that play and has to make it easier for Jake Bennett in this game. He now faces a runner in scoring position at third, DeLauder, and McKenzie at first. Only 1 out as well.
Here's Julio Marcano, shows bunt. Bennett, who potentially may have wanted to see if he was going to square around on runners at the corners, 1 down. He did. Playing even at the bag is Agnos. Marcano, the first baseman, 5 for 27, a 185 hitter so far in the season, was 1 for 1 yesterday against Brewster in the loss 5-2. Shows bunt, and he's going to pop it up in foul territory, but gets down before Dalton Rushing can make a play on it. 0-1, so an interesting attack here by the Firebirds offensively, Daniel, with runners at the corners, trying to get potentially this runner home on a safety squeeze attempt.
Yeah, haven't seen a squeeze all season. I'd be surprised if this worked. I mean, Dalton Rushing and Peter Burns really gunning towards that foul ball pop-up from Marcano. But this is something you don't often see in the Cape League. Let's see if it pays off.
Bennett with another check towards McKenzie at first.
And I know I've jinxed myself by saying this, but pending a double play up the middle between...
Now you're using that correctly.
Between Goodwin and Schobel. We could get out of this, but Jake Bennett, this is the first real pressure scenario he's had to deal with.
That one is grounded short. A chance for a double play. Schobel to Goodwin. Goodwin on to first, and not in time to get Marcano. It'll bring home the first run of the game in favor of the Orleans Firebirds. DeWater scores, and it's an RBI fielder's choice for Marcano. It's 1-0.
Yeah, just exactly what you wanted. A bit too far to the left for Schobel to turn two. He got the player at second on the force out, but just didn't have the time for Nick Goodwin to gun it over to Dalton Rushing. And we were going to have to score more than one to get a win out of here today at Eldridge Park. So not the worst thing, but really got to clean it up against Mickness right now.
Well, they scored the ground ball by McKenzie, a base hit, so it will not be an E4 for Goodwin, which comes to a bit of a surprise considering it seemed routine. As that fastball misses high. Did take a bad hop. Our own Calvin Christopher noted that to us. But nonetheless, that is now an earned run towards Jake Bennett's credit today. As the left-handed Justin Mickness steps in. Watch the fastball miss high. It's 1-0. And Bennett with a check here on Marcano at first.
A lot of checks over there to first for Bennett and Nets. 2 outs, bottom of the second, and the Braves again are behind in the second game in a row.
Braves bats have to get these runners home when they are on offense. They've had plenty of opportunities. That fastball misses away, 2-0. They just have not been able to cash in. But in due time, this offense will start clicking again like they were to begin the season. And when you're 9-1-2, regardless of how good the pitching's been, that obviously displays offensive success. And Braves have had plenty of that to begin the season on a bit of a slide as far as hitting with runners in scoring position. That fastball misses off of the glove of Burns downstairs. 3 balls, no strikes here to Mickness with Marcano aboard at first and 2 down, 1-0 Orleans on the RBI fielder's choice by Julio Marcano, a batter ago.
Marcano's brother is on deck for the Orleans Firebirds. Like you said, they were born 5 minutes apart.
3-0 fastball, right down Main Street, 3-1.
Big pitch here for Jake Bennett. He's throwing strikes, but the Orleans Firebirds have jumped on it. And what looked like to be a mistake over there by Nick Goodwin has cost them. And he's giving away base runners now with that walk.
Yeah, fastball misses outside, and Peter Burns will go talk to Jake Bennett as now runners on first and second for Orleans. And here comes David Marcano, the twin brother of the runner at second, trying to drive in his brother and bring home another Orleans run to begin this game. First pitch to David Marcano. Fastball misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Obviously a big loss to Team USA for this Firebirds team in one of the premier players in Jace Young. Obviously his brother Josh was drafted in the top 10 of the MLB draft a few years back. And Jace, who was sliding a bit, 7 for 32. 1 homer, did have 9 driven in. Wasn't getting as many hits as he did at Texas Tech, but still, regardless, that's a huge loss for an Orleans team that, interestingly enough, their offensive stroke has been found after Young has left, which is quite interesting. They scored 39 runs over the course of their 3-game winning streak that ended yesterday at Brewster. So talk about an offensive explosion. Here's the 1-1, pulled the string on him, beautiful pitch. And it runs to 1 and 2. Taking a big lead off that first base bag was Mickness. Peter Burns wanted to throw over there, but Dalton Rushing said, let's focus and get the hitter in Marcano.
Yeah, so Julio Marcano's brother, David, up to bat now, was actually activated by the Orleans Firebirds this past Monday, so he's fairly new to this 9 spot.
Grounded ashore. There is Tanner Schobel across his body to the left, throws on the run over to Dalton Rushing, takes care of Marcano as Jake Bennett gives up the first run of the game on an RBI fielder's choice ground ball that Julio Marcano beat out. And the Orleans Firebirds lead 1-0 as we head to the top of the third. Back with you from Eldridge Park in Orleans, where the Weather Channel says the sun is out, but we look up and it is full of dark clouds that look a little ominous, at least off in the distance. But for now,
Yeah, they definitely are wrong about
yes.
that.
Well, when are weathermen right? Let's be real.
That is true, but you know, we got a 1-0 game here at Eldridge Park. The Braves again struggling to get that offensive spark early on, and they drop a chance to get a lead and have left a few men on base, Reeves.
Yeah, it'll be 9-1-2. Schobel, Henderson, and Daniel Coates for innings 3 and 4, my friend. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Reeves. We're going to have the 9-1-2 and hopefully 3 spot hitters. Coming up for the Bourne Braves, Nets is still on the mound for the Orleans Firebirds. First pitch right down the pipe from Nets. He is pitching well, and something to talk about is just that wind, and we mentioned it, but with that wind whipping in from center field, it creates a jet stream for this fastball or even breaking ball to get a lot more pace off the hand. 2 pitches and 2 strikes looking from Tanner Schobel, high and inside on that one, but it catches the corner.
Yeah, 87, 88, the 2 pitches we've seen on the velocity from Nets, so upper 80s fastball, but he supplements it well with a sharp and tight breaking ball that he loves to utilize.
Nets in the windup, fouled high and behind the backstop. Tanner Schobel, 8 for 22 on the season with a 3.63 average. 1 homer that came against the Brewster Whitecaps on the road, and 5 RBIs. He faces an 0-2 count behind, and then the top of the order, Kyler Fedko on deck. He check swings, did he go? Looking down to the second baseman. He tags Mickness, and that will do it for Tanner Schobel. A check swing in the dirt. Mickness picks it up, and Tanner Schobel hesitant to run down, but Mickness slaps the tag and gets the first out of the top of the third.
Thought that was worthy of an appeal down to the first base umpire. Didn't know if that was or should have been the home plate umpire's call. It seemed that it was about halfway, and that it could have been an appeal that he did not go around. But regardless,
yeah, interesting, because the game should have been on a pause for a moment there. But Kyler Fedko trying to get something going for the Braves. Breaking ball drops right into the zone. Nets feeling it at the moment. He's only thrown strikes this inning.
Yeah, 88 to 71 is a tough drop-off as a hitter as far as the velocity on that fastball to breaking ball.
The 0-1 wind-up. Max Anderson on deck. Same pitch, same result. Breaking ball dropping off the table and down the middle. 0-2, top of the third, Max Anderson, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and the Nebraska Cornhusker on deck. And again, Nets is ahead of a Bourne Brave in the batter's box. Lights on here at Eldridge Park. A breaking ball bit low. First ball to Kyler Fedko. He holds off. So Kyler Fedko, 11 for 42, a 261 average. His 5 RBIs, and Harvey Shapiro opts to put him at the top of the lineup and tells Joe Lampe, the Sun Devil, who's usually in that one position, that he has the day off, as well as Knapczyk, who's often seen behind him at the 2 position.
Yeah, Lampe was pinch hit for last night by Nick Goodwin, who grounded out to end the game, and Lampe coming off a string of 3 consecutive strikeouts before he was lifted for the pinch hitter last night.
So Nets taking his time from the windup. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Kyler Fedko is responsible for the second out. Nets sticking with that brilliant breaking ball that really goes from 12 to 6 and breaks apart his fastball velocity with his breaking ball velocity, almost 20 miles per hour, Reeves.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's one of the best breaking balls from a right-hander I've seen thus far on the Cape this summer. It's an excellent pitch.
Missing high breaking ball again, 1-0. Max Anderson steps to the plate.
That one was a 20-mile-an-hour difference, 87 to 67.
Unbelievable. Really great stuff from Nets. The Arizona Wildcat has had the number of most of these hitters. Hard hit ground ball foul. Parallel to the Braves dugout. On deck is Dalton Rushing. He is taking over the 3 spot. But Max Anderson hopes to keep this inning alive against Nets, who had the most appearances out of the bullpen for the Arizona Wildcats this season and in their run to the College World Series. Fastball gunning on the outer half of the zone, 1-2.
Might be one of my favorite road setups for the fans as far as there's not many stands. I think that's what makes the Cape League so special. You just got lawn chairs, you got the towels, and the berm right now is absolutely packed on the first base right field side.
1-2, swing and a cut right into the mat by the backstop. It stays at 1-2. Anderson staying alive as well. 7 for 16, 7 for 17 actually now. Dropping from that 437 average. The Cornhusker, he has been special for the Braves.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's already been inserted to that 2-3 spot in the lineup early on.
Breaking ball jumping outside, 2-2. Max Anderson facing Nets, who has thrown 29 strikes in 12 balls. Really sticking with that breaking ball. And his bread and butter is the difference between the velocity of his fastball and his breaking ball, about 20 miles per hour, as we've seen on the left field scoreboard. That's a cut foul, dribbler down the left field line.
Yeah, that breaking ball is going to turn Scout's head. That's what makes Nets so nasty on the mound. Fastball a few pitches ago reached 90. Breaking ball there, anywhere between 68 and 74 that we've seen at 67 and 74. And a fastball 87 to 90, so that is tough goings for hitter. Haven't really seen a changeup thus far, but that fastball breaking ball, deadly combination.
Nets' delivery low and outside with the fastball. The breaking ball, I should say, full count and a payoff pitch. And an opportunity to elongate the top of the third. Only one hit for the Braves. Their offensive woes continue.
They were getting the hits yesterday. They just weren't able to bring any of the runners home.
The payoff pitch sprayed foul down the right field line and behind the fans up there towards the concession, which I have to say, the concession stand in my, 12 games in the Cape Cod League, by far the best. The best selection, best setup. I love it. We should start a little show about that. A little
we'll do like a
rating or judging
like
of
a
home and away stadium concessions. And again, foul ball in the same spot. It stays at 3-2.
we should do that. We still have plenty of time to get to all the ballparks still. We should do like a one bite. Everybody knows the rules.
Absolutely.
No, but
Try
at
their
least,
hot dog. I know
yeah.
you said the hot dog was a bit too hot for your liking. I said
Oh,
they don't call it a
Daniel,
cold dog.
trying to expose me on the air here. My goodness, making me look weak.
I'm sure. It's not a cold dog, Reeves.
Oh my.
The payoff pitch from Nets to Anderson, chopped right up the middle. It bounces off of Nets to Chatagnier, and he's got him at Max Anderson at first. So Nets bounces it to Chatagnier. He gets the assist, but Max Anderson grounds out to second and ends the top of the third. We're going to go to the bottom of the third. Jake Bennett back on the mound. The Braves are down at Eldridge Park, 1-0. Peyton Chatinier will start things off for the Orleans Firebirds in the bottom of the third, where the Firebirds at home lead the 9-1-2 Bourne Braves. Jake Bennett, the starting pitcher, still on the mound, appearing in his third. And Chatinier fouls one way behind the backstop. It caught the jet stream of the wind. Boy, that was a far, far foul ball. 0-1, though, to Jake Bennett.
You want to go retrieve it for me?
Gosh, no, that's a mile.
You can't run a mile, Daniel?
You can run a mile, just I don't want to do it in khakis. 0-1, the cut from Chatinier. 0-2. Jake Bennett's fastball looking good off the hands on this overcast night, almost fully under the lights at Eldridge Park.
Not according to the Weather Channel. It's still sunny on there. It really is. I'm not kidding.
Unbelievable.
Google, or if you have the weather app, look at Orleans, Massachusetts right now. It'll say it's sunny. If I could send you a picture right now, I would show you how overcast it is.
The 0-2. Chatinier takes off a breaking ball in the dirt. Peter Burns slides to his right, 1-2. But it is blustering. I think this might be one of the windiest games that we've had to call. Luckily, we got the new headsets, like we mentioned at the Wareham.
Hopefully that sounds better than it did at Brewster.
1-2, fouled into the backstop. Stays at 1-2, but we have the mic covers, everything, all brand new setup.
It is. It's awesome. I love it. I know I couldn't stop talking about it on the first night, but it sure is nice because usually if we had the old headsets, you'd be hearing all types of wind on the mic right now, but the mic covers making a big difference.
2-2 now after a fastball misses upstairs to the Ole Miss Rebel. He was about to commit, actually, get this, to Texas A&M, but he sat down with his high school coach, and the high school coach wanted him to think about Ole Miss. And he said that he finally decided because he loved their baby blues. 3-2, high and outside fastball misses for Jake Bennett. Ahead 0-2, now knotted in a payoff pitch coming 3-2.
He said with his coach here, remember when he played at Minute Maid, that would be the park out in Houston, and remember the powdered blues, and he said, to be honest,
swing and a miss off a breaking ball. Chatinier, the one-spot hitter, goes down swinging. Jake Bennett, the Sooner, slides that one past the plate and swinging. Chatinier, one out, bottom of the third.
he said to his coach, to be honest, I didn't know who Ole Miss was. I just loved the jerseys. And you know what? If that gets you a college commitment right there, then good on Ole Miss. You got some good-looking jerseys to boot.
Rylan Thomas showing bunt, pulling back, though. The breaking ball catches 0-1. Thomas, as you mentioned, Reeves, one of the best hitters, and statistically the best hitter in the Cape right now. 0-1, misses high, 1-1.
Yeah, Rylan Thomas on a 3-game hitting streak. He has hit safely in every single game this season, Daniel, other than just 2. It's hard to do against these pitchers.
1-1 fouled behind the Braves dugout, high and back, 1-2.
Yeah, you know, I think I know why a car hasn't been hit, because every darn foul ball is 50 feet into the trees.
Surprised we haven't seen a kid try and cross the street and retrieve those. We usually do. 1-2 flare, that's in foul territory. Zach Agnos can't get to it. It stays at 1-2.
Oh, that's a play that Calvin Cristoforo has to make on the sideline. I'll be getting into his grill when he comes back. He's got to make that catch. Come on, Calvin.
I'm waiting for the day that Calvin, who is posted up by the Braves dugout, somehow gets involved in the game. Whether that's good or bad, we'll find out at one point.
Would be interesting for sure.
So 1-2 to Bennett, 2-spot hitter Rylan Thomas. The delivery, ground ball, that's to Nick Goodwin. He scoops it up and shoots it over to Dalton Rushing for out number 2. Jake Bennett throwing strikes and depending on his defense here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, great play there by Nick Goodwin. Just came in and got the speedy Rylan Thomas. It's tough when you got the speedster from the left-handed batter's box booking it down the line, but Goodwin made a nice sidearm delivery over to Dalton Rushing. A very similar play in which the ball kicked off the heel of his glove earlier in the game. Nice job there by Nick.
Fastball missing high upstairs to Connor Cox, the rising redshirt sophomore from Long Beach State University. He's a first-team Big West selection. And a high flare foul will make it 1-1.
Ooh, Oh, look at the fan. Comes up with it. Landed right in his chair.
A round of applause. I don't know if you can hear that, but a really cool environment here at Eldridge Park. As Reeves said, that right hill is fully filled. A
Awesome.
1-1. Turns to 2-1. High fastball, 2 high and 2 outside. Connor Cox grounded to second in his last appearance in the first. Swing and a miss off a breaking ball. An off-speed pitch, it looked like, from Jake Bennett.
Yeah, that was actually the changeup, Daniel. That was beautiful changeup, just diving back into the inner half of the plate. Almost started at that knee and it just dove right back out of that inside corner.
Boy, that had some movement on it. Fastball again, too far upstairs. 3-2. Another payoff pitch coming for Jake Bennett.
If I'm Jake Bennett right here, that changeup has been deadly. He's been able to throw it for strikes too. I say go for a full count changeup. Put it on him here. Let's see.
The Firebirds lead 1-0. Foul ball for Cox.
Yeah,
Stays at 3-2. A second payoff pitch on the way.
Yeah, went with a fastball, trying to just get it past Cox, who was late on that pitch. Fouled it over the net, but we'll see what Jake decides to go with. Maybe we'll change it up here on 3-2.
Full count, the windup. Another foul ball. Cox sends another ball into the forest. 3-2. We might be seeing some fresh baseballs coming out of the boxes because we have lost quite a few on this windy day with all the foul balls that these batters have produced.
I want to ask you a question after this pitch. I want Nick to be a part of this question too.
3-2. Hard hit ground ball. Tanner Schobel attacking, gunning it to first. Dalton Rushing's there. He secures it and secures the end of the bottom of the third. To the top of the fourth we go. Reeves, I'm anticipating this question with all of my attention right now.
We'll get it. Let's do it next half inning.
Okay.
We'll keep the anticipation. It's a teaser for the fans at home.
And we'll give you at home a cliffhanger. We're going to be back in just a few moments with the top of the fourth and the Braves in the batter's box. Daniel Coates here with Reeves Jackson, the Georgia Bulldog, next to me, who is my color commentator for the next inning. We also have a Georgia Bulldog who has taken over on the mound for the Orleans Firebirds. That is Michael Polk, and he's from your hometown.
Yes,
Reeves.
pridefully have to say from Alpharetta, Georgia, where I am from, where I made the trek up here to the Cape. And Michael Polk on the season for Orleans thus far has appeared in 3 games, 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. He's thrown 6 innings, struck out 5, walked 4, given up 3 hits. His longest outing was 3 1/3 innings in the 10-4 loss against Wareham, but did not give up a run. Works out of the stretch as well.
Dalton Rushing takes one upstairs. Fastball from Polk. Boy, that is a heater
Yeah, 90 on the gun, but it gets on you quickly.
Dalton rushing to start things off, 1-0. The Braves trailing by 1. Another pitch, high fastball missing, 2-0. Polk has 5 strikeouts on the season, 6 innings pitched with a 1.50 ERA. Impressive stuff from the Bulldog. Another SEC product we see on the mound in the Cape League. And a fastball inside, 2-1. Dalton Rushing's looked at all 3 from Michael Polk.
Yeah, and at Georgia, made 17 appearances, almost all of them, I believe, out of relief. 19 in the third inning, just a 1.86 ERA. He was excellent for the Bulldogs.
2-1 fastball, again missing high. That fastball is getting a bit away from him and drifting upstairs. 3-1 to Dalton Rushing.
I was just about to say, struggled with command at times at Georgia. 23 strikeouts compared to 17 walks, but had 2 games where he walked at least 3 hitters. And out of relief, too. That's obviously not what you want, but.
Another pitch inside, and that one catches. 3-2. So really sticking with the fastball. Polk has a payoff pitch in his first batter faced, Dalton Rushing. He's delivering from the stretch. 3-2, high and deep. Out there is DeLauder in right field, and he makes it a routine fly ball. Dalton Rushing got a lot of that. But with this wind here at Eldridge Park, those deep balls turn into routine fly balls.
Absolutely. As Caden Wallace steps in, he struck out swinging his first time. But at the same time, regardless of how effective Polk has been thus far, you want Dawson Nets out of the game. He was absolutely dealing through the first 3 innings for Orleans.
A laser foul ball down the left field line for Caden Wallace coming into this game. He had to step in and take the place of Yukon Husky Reggie Crawford. He's 0 for 1 and 7 for 24, just under 300 average. Brilliant breaking ball off speed, 0-2. Connects with the zone, low and outside. So after Michael Polk on the mound for the Firebirds was down early to Dalton Rushing, he has an opportunity to get 2 outs in a short span of time. Time called as well. Polk takes a second to himself, and then he's going to dig back into the stretch. 0-2, 1 out in the top of the 4th. Hard hit ground ball getting through between the third baseman and the shortstop. That's going to be the second hit of the game. Caden Wallace delivers with 1 out in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, big 1-out single there for Caden Wallace, and you got Braylon Wimmer and Zach Agnos due up next, 2 of the hotter hitters in this Braves lineup right now. Agnos, who obviously got the first hit for the Braves with that double in the second, and Braylon Wimmer, who had 3 hits a day ago. And Caden Wallace continues his hot hitting since he joined the Braves a little over a week ago.
And that will put him north of 300 in his 25 at-bats from Arkansas for the Bourne Braves. Polk now steps in against Braylon Wimmer. He's in left field today, and he grounded back to the pitcher in his last appearance. High fly ball. It's going to be in foul territory. Is it going to be fielded? And it won't. Will not, going right into the crowd. Braylon Wimmer down 0-1. So Caden Wallace on first for the Braves.
Some scores to update you about. We have 2 finals out here in the Cape League thus far. Both were called in 8 innings due to both the teams not having lights. I think you know what 2 teams those are. Brewster and Catuit. The Wareham Gatemen pick up a win over the Catuit Cavaliers 5-2. And the Falmouth Commodores smack around the Brewster Whitecaps 14-2 final over there in Brewster.
Caden Wallace with a lead at first. Polk gives him a look. The delivery high. Gunned down. Does he have him at first? No. Marcano couldn't hold on to the throw from McNiss. Caden Wallace is safe, but keeping him in check. One of the things I said I wanted to see was aggressive base running, and Caden Wallace looks to be leading aggressively at first. 1-1. Braylon Wimmer, the righty, steps in on deck. Zach Agnos from ECU. Breaking ball drops right into the zone. 1 and 2, and Braylon Wimmer just has to pass on it.
Yeah, Polk looking pretty solid early on, firing in strikes. Has been predominantly sticking with that fastball, trying to establish the strike zone early on in the count. Caden Wallace pieced one up into left field.
1 and 2 to Braylon Wimmer. Fastball, line drive into right field, just shallow of DeLauder. Caden Wallace holding up at second, and Braylon Wimmer with the third hit for the Bourne Braves stands atop of first.
Braylon Wimmer is hitting best when he is working the opposite field. It's what he did so well yesterday. And Nick, correct me if I'm wrong over here. I believe all 3 of Braylon's hits went to right field yesterday. I think they did. He's going to double check me on that, but I'm pretty sure Braylon Wimmer was 3 for 3 with all base hits going to the opposite field. I know at least 2 were. But Braylon Wimmer, another base hit into right, just fought it off with 2 strikes and dumped it into right.
Yeah, and Zach Agnos, who's a guy now that is, like I said, trending upward in his batting performances. He doubled to right center back a couple innings ago. Inside for ball 1. Polk with the heater. I feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. There are men in scoring position. Only Caden Wallace on second and Braylon Wimmer at first. But again, 1 out. Top of the 4th, an opportunity to put runs on the board. This would be a huge moment and momentum swinger in the game.
I have a confession to make.
Ground ball foul, third base line. Yes, tell me.
I have not seen Groundhog Day.
Oh, I know what. I'll make a confession. I've only seen bits and pieces. It's one of those HBO movies that I turn on at the exact same time over and over again. It's almost like Groundhog Day.
Okay, there you go. Well, Nick Galley just basically told me, what do I know, because that's what I'm going to say to myself. Only one of Braylon Wimmer's 3 hits were to right yesterday, but maybe I'm just stuck with the picture in my head of that game-tying single to right. But regardless, good job by Braylon to use the opposite field there.
And Zach Agnos steps in with a 1-1 count. Caden Wallace, a good lead, matching the shortstop there. Swing and a miss. Fastball passing by the bat of Zach Agnos. 1 and 2, 1 out, top of the 4th. Caden Wallace on second and Braylon Wimmer at first.
But back to what I was saying before last half inning ended, I want to ask you guys, obviously, maybe we'll do it next inning when there's less going on, but we'll keep that question alive for what I want to ask you guys. Maybe at home you can think about what the answer might be as well.
1-2, going. That's going to be foul. Caden was already at third. So again, aggressive base running there with a 1-2 count. Zach Agnos was swinging at that. I wonder if that was a hit and run of sorts.
Yeah, potentially with 2 strikes, maybe so. I'm not sure if that breaking ball was going to find its way on the zone. It was close on the outer half. Agnos fought it off.
So Michael Polk will stay at 1 and 2. Zach Agnos slowly getting into his stance. A pink sky appearing over the right-hand hill. Hard hit, line drive. Might get down. It does. Coming around third, Caden Wallace. Behind him, closely, Braylon Wimmer. Zach Agnos is going for third. The throw, he's up, save. Zach Agnos. How about that piece of hitting? 2 hits, a double and a triple. He scores 2, and the Braves, just like that, swing a 1-0 lead for the Orleans Firebirds into a 2-1 lead for the 9-1-2 Bourne Braves.
That was eerily similar of the triple that Zach Agnos hit at home a few days ago. I believe it was last week when Agnos got the triple for the Bravos, and Agnos again just shot it to right center. Initially I thought Cox was potentially going to have a play, and then as soon as that ball kept carrying to right center, he was not going to. Braylon Wimmer read it well right off the bat. He was on the coattails of Caden Wallace, was right behind him as soon as Wallace rounded third. They both score standing up, and Zach Agnos stands up at third with a 2-run triple. That is how you hit with runners in scoring position right there.
A frozen rope to right center between Cox and DeLauder for the Firebirds in the outfield. The throw wasn't even close to getting Zach Agnos. He was up easily at third base, scoring Caden Wallace and Braylon Wimmer. This is the inning the Braves needed. Top of the 4th, only 1 out, and Zach Agnos is the man in scoring position with Nick Goodwin in the batter's box. He takes the second to himself, but Zach Agnos remains at third base. 2 for 2 on the day. Only needs a homer and a single for the cycle at the moment.
Well, Zach Agnos tying Tommy Troy for the Cape League lead in triples. They both have 2. Would have thought Zach Agnos would have a share of the lead in triples. I'm sorry, Zach. Not me. I'm sorry.
He put an absolute beating on that ball. One of the hardest hit balls we've seen from Zach Agnos, certainly harder than the ball hit for his double 2 innings ago. Michael Polk recovering after that. He delivers a breaking ball that drops low to Nick Goodwin, 1-0.
Yeah, infield comes in here, Daniel, trying to cut down Agnos at the plate. Prime opportunity for Goodwin just to get a ball in the air, get it deep enough, should be deep enough to score Agnos.
Another breaking ball in the dirt. 2-0, and what a pretty view we have here at Eldridge Park. A pink, almost orange sky just after 8 o'clock, 8:13 to be exact, here in Orleans, Massachusetts on the Cape. 2-0 to Nick Goodwin. He steps in, but as the sun sets, the Braves take a 2-1 lead in the top of the 4th. 2-0, 1 out. Polk misses high with the fastball. 3-0. Nick Goodwin has the opportunity to make this a 1st and 3rd scenario with a walk and a wayward pitch from Polk upcoming.
Yeah, great job by Goodwin here. Very disciplined at the plate, as he is so often. Trying to get on base here.
The 3-0 right down the middle. Fastball. 3-1 it improves to for Michael Polk. As we were saying, Nick Goodwin coming in 6 for 25 with a 240 average. Polk will deliver from the stretch here. 3-1, swing and a miss. 3-2 now, and a payoff pitch upcoming. Zach Agnos will remain at 3rd and takes a moderate lead, but retreats. Peter Burns on deck, the 8-spot hitter. Nick Goodwin with a 3-2 count. Polk, breaking ball, swing and a miss. Nick Goodwin goes down swinging, and Michael Polk recovers after that 2-run RBI triple from Zach Agnos.
Yeah, great job there by Polk just to battle back down 3-0 in the count. And a big strikeout there of Nick Goodwin, and keeping Agnos over there at 3rd is now Peter Burns with 2 outs, looking to get a 3rd Bourne Brave here. Home this inning.
So a big opportunity for Peter Burns here. Misses high. Polk, fastball, races upstairs too far. 1-0, I should say. But, you know, Reeves, you took a second to take a picture here.
Did.
It is
beautiful.
Exactly what you think of when you think of a Cape Cod League summer night.
Baseball sky.
Baseball under the lights. Breaking ball misses outside. Quickly 2-0 to Peter Burns, who is 3 for 13 on the season, just south of a 250 average. He's switching games with Colton Bender behind the plate defensively. 2-1, fastball right down the pipe. First inning for Michael Polk, and he has let up 2 after Nets threw what was a really effective first 3 innings of this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
2-1.
Outstanding.
Another pitch missing high, fastball, which is really what Polk is staying with unless he is ahead or knotted in the count. 3-1, so he is struggling to find the zone, as you mentioned.
Yeah, he was down 3-0, though, to Goodwin. Ended up battling back and had the breaking ball to strike him out on a full count pitch.
Fastball right down the pipe again, 3-2, so he battles back, which we've seen before. Zach Agnos still at 3rd for the Braves in blue. The Orleans Firebirds in black with crisp, clean white pants. Michael Polk from the stretch, the 3-2. Breaking high, missing. Peter Burns on first. Zach Agnos on 3rd as Burns, the catcher for the day, trots down the right field line.
Yeah, guy in Tanner Schobel has been swinging a hot stick of late. Had the 2 hits yesterday. We've heard from Callan. It'll be Peter Van Loon to take over when we come back in the bottom of the 4th inning after Bennett's 3 innings. So Van Loon, who was excellent in his last start, looking to relieve Bennett now with the lead.
Tanner Schobel, the 9 spot, digging in. He struck out back in the 3rd. First pitch dropping down low, 1-0. Fastball from Polk. He's thrown 18 strikes and 12 balls now, so not necessarily the ratio you want as a pitcher relieving Nets, who did not allow a run in the 3 innings pitched. 1-0 to Tanner Schobel. Fastball catching him in the zone, high and inside, 1-1. And with Graceffo as well as Nick Zwack on their way out of town, Peter Van Loon might be a pitcher that we're going to see quite often, and Harvey Shapiro really having to think about how he's going to construct his bullpen.
He's going to have, as that breaking ball finds a strike in the zone, he's going to have an elevated role. No shock to Peter Van Loon and to the rest of the pitchers, but everyone's role is going to be elevated. Van Loon, who had an excellent start in his first appearance, looking to continue that success.
The 1-2 to Tanner Schobel. Breaking ball, is that a foul? It is. It stays 1-2. A good way to battle in the box from Tanner Schobel, who's going to send it back to Kyler Fedko. We might see him this inning. There are 2 outs, and we're in the top of the 4th. The Braves start this inning with a deficit and now have a 2-1 lead. Peter Burns going, foul ball, Tanner Schobel right into the street. Oh, hold your horses, cars, and it just misses a car on the road behind us.
That was the closest one we've seen today.
That was the perfect trajectory to go right on the yellow line here in Orleans. 1-2, Tanner Schobel hoping to keep this inning alive. Polk, the delivery. Breaking ball low and in the dirt. 2-2, Mickness. With a long inning back there, having to deal with a lot that are downstairs from Polk.
Yeah, Schobel has seen a wealth of breaking balls to not just him, but to the hitters before him, knowing not to lay off of those pitches in the dirt, not to chase.
The 2-2. Fastball low and outside, looking. Tanner Schobel strikes out for the second time in this game, but not before damage is done, and by the hands of a Zach Agnos triple that scored 2. Braylon Wimmer and Caden Wallace. 2-1, the Braves lead, and Peter Van Loon will be on the mound to start things in the bottom of the 4th. We'll introduce him in just a few moments. The sun is almost fully set here at Eldridge Park on the right-hand side behind the hill that is packed with Orleans Firebirds fans, maybe a sprinkle of some Bourne Braves fans, but baseball fans nonetheless. The Braves take a 2-1 lead in the top of the 4th thanks to Zach Agnos' RBI triple, and Peter Van Loon from UC Irvine will take over for the Oklahoma Sooner in the bottom of the 4th. And Reeves, do you like this move right now? We're going to see Peter Van Loon, who had an impressive outing the last time we saw him.
Yeah, I love this move by Harvey Shapiro. I think Peter Van Loon out of relief here, second to Jake Bennett, is outstanding. Bennett pitched well, but pitch count was a little up there for 3 innings, so Peter Van Loon takes over. Guy was outstanding against Harwich in technically his first start of the season, although he did pitch against Catuit at Catuit, the game that got rained out that we always reference. Van Loon was hit up a little bit in that game, was pulled early, but against Harwich, much different story. 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And opponents just hit 200 against him in those 4 innings. So Van Loon was outstanding. As I mentioned, only allowed 3 hits that game, so those are his season numbers. But big, tall, 6'5", 220-pound righty from San Ramon, California. And as you mentioned, an anteater by the way of UC Irvine. Not going to have an easy task, though, to begin this inning. He's got DeLauder, Locklear, and McKenzie, two of the best hitters in this league, due up first.
Chase, I should say, Chase DeLauder digs in. Peter Van Loon's first pitch is a fastball on the outside half, 1-0.
Ooh, 92 from Van Loon. He's pumping it tonight, man.
And it was a good spot, just missed a bit outside. 1-0 to Van Loon. Hard hit line drive. That's going to be a single for DeLauder to start off the bottom of the fourth. Right to Wallace in right field.
Yeah, DeLauder now 2 for 2 today. Had that rocket single into center and now an even harder rope into right to Caden Wallace. So Chase DeLauder, that dude can hit the baseball. One of the best hitters in this league.
So 2 pitches and 1 hit allowed for Peter Van Loon. Trying to recover here. This will be Tyler Locklear. Chopper, foul down the third base line. 0-1. DeLauder will stay at first base. Like you mentioned, Peter Van Loon 6'5", so he has a lot of leverage on the mound here. An 0-1 advantage to a player in Locklear who struck out looking in his last appearance. Breaking ball catches the high part of the zone. 0-2. Great looking breaking ball there from Peter Van Loon.
Yeah, started it outside of the zone, the top half of the plate, and that just fell right into that strike zone. Upper half, good pitch.
0-2 to Locklear. Van Loon, the delivery. Breaking ball just battled off foul towards the Bourne Braves bat boy. Stays at 0-2. DeLauder, he's a quick guy defensively at right field for the Orleans Firebirds. He's still at first. Dalton Rushing doing a good job there of keeping him at bay. Van Loon gives him a look from the stretch.
And DeLauder still that bag back in the second.
Another foul ball from Locklear.
Speaking of foul balls, leads to the question I was going to ask you, and I was going to ask Nick as well. How many foul balls, or how many balls I should say, do you think that the Cape League uses and has to go through for all 10 teams across all 40 games, so obviously roughly 400 games for this season? How many balls do you think the Cape League? I don't have an answer. I just want to know what you guys think.
DeLauder's safe after Van Loon check at first. I would say around maybe just above 5,000, maybe.
Nick says 10,000. I was going to guess 6,500.
Yeah.
So I'm like roughly in your area. I'm roughly in your area as
0-2, breaking ball low and outside. Peter Burns keeps it in front of him.
As Nick is pushing the 10K mark. So it'd be interesting to see. I want to see if Nick knows, maybe he's Googling right now, how many balls the Cape League does use.
Is it how many are used in the game or how many are lost or how many are at the field right now?
How many have to be used in the game outside of batting practice, outside of pregames?
1-2, low fastball, 2-2.
Not how many are lost, but just how many balls that are used per game across every game over the course of the entire season.
So the ones that are scuffed up. I still
including those too, including those, absolutely.
Maybe
I'm curious.
5,000.
Nick, try Googling Major League Baseball on a 162-game season. They might have that with a little more
Another
data.
Another fastball in the dirt. 3-2, battling all the way back. Locklear, the bevy of foul balls in this battle between Van Loon and Locklear. 3-2, no outs, bottom of the fourth. Man on first. And that's going to do it. Peter Van Loon with a fastball, low and outside, catches Locklear looking. So Peter Van Loon really doing a good job of battling back.
Going to put our Nick Galley on. He's going to tell you some information about the MLB and lost baseballs.
Welcome, Nick.
Yes, I don't know how good the source is here. It's the first thing that comes up when I Google. But according to this, the MLB goes through 247,680 balls throughout the course of a season.
A fastball gets behind Peter Burns, and DeLauder advances to second. Now in the batter's box for the Firebirds is Jared McKenzie. He singled back in the second. And DeLauder now in scoring position. He would be the tying run here in the bottom of the fourth.
I'm not the best at math, and obviously it's why I'm a journalism major. It's why I'm broadcasting a game here. But if I had to guess, 400 games in the Cape League season, 247,000 across.
Ground ball right back to Peter Van Loon. They have him. DeLauder in a pickle between third and second. Zach Agnos has it. He tags him. Safe, though, is McKenzie at first.
Great job
But
there
a great
by-
job
yeah.
to get the lead base runner in DeLauder. Peter Van Loon had a ground ball rifled back towards him. He caught DeLauder lingering between Zach Agnos and Tanner Schobel. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. So Van Loon advances DeLauder after a pass ball, but then catches him in a pickle between third and second.
Great heads-up play by Van Loon. You always want to take care of the lead runner if possible, and just got DeLauder caught between second and third, made a nice play.
Swing and a miss to number 7, Julio Marcano. Fielder's choice. Made it to second back in the second inning.
Yeah, picked up that RBI as well.
McKenzie on first, Van Loon ahead 0-1. His fastball is working. Took a couple of batters to find the zone. 2 outs. Going is McKenzie. Peter Burns, can he grab him? No. Tough scoop there from Nick Goodwin, the second baseman. Safe at second is McKenzie.
Yeah, strong one-hop by Peter Burns right there, just to the wrong side of the bag. If you put that short hop on the right side of the bag, Nick Goodwin has a much easier four-handed scoop to put the tag down. Obviously, that backhand to try to bring that ball and the glove back to the tag. Hard thing to do. So 2 stolen bases early on in this game for the Firebirds.
But an 0-2 count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. Van Loon steps off after McKenzie making some noise.
Yeah, but regardless,
second.
that previous pitch called a strike, so now 0-2. So got to be big here for Van Loon.
0-2. 2 outs, bottom of the fourth, man in scoring position. Breaking ball, check swing, they got him! Peter Van Loon with a breaking ball. Catches Julio Marcano looking. And the Orleans Firebirds leave McKenzie in scoring position. The Braves maintain their 2-1 lead. Peter Van Loon, the new pitcher taking over for Jake Bennett, gets out of a sticky situation with no runs allowed.
Reeves Jackson joined by Nick Galley here as we head to the top of the fifth, where the Braves will send the top of the order to the plate in Kyler Fedko, Max Anderson, and Dalton Rushing after Bourne pushed across 2 the last time they were up at the dish in the top of the fourth. New pitcher, though, to tell you about for Orleans as Polk's day is done. Short outing for the Georgia Bulldog. It's now Nick Wallerstedt from Tempe, Arizona, by way of the Sun Devils, Arizona State. So usually, if the Braves were at the top of the order, he'd be facing his teammate Joe Lampe, but not today with Fedko leading off. A 5th appearance of the year for Wallerstedt, and he has been pretty solid. No record, but a 3 ERA in 4 games appearance, so his 5th appearance already. But short outings for him. His first outing was on opening day, an inning, then YD, 2/3 of an inning against Wareham, another inning, and against Brewster on July 2nd. Came in for just 1 batter, got the out. So A total of 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 2 hits issued on the year for Wallerstedt. 6'3", 195-pound junior, and will face Kyler Fedko in the top of this Braves order. Trying to add on some more runs. Nick, good to have you with me.
Good to be back.
Thanks
after
for
my stat, after my one.
Absolutely, that was
fantastic. Thank you, Google, for that.
No, absolutely. As Fedko watches a first pitch fastball for a strike. How about that stat though? 247,000 baseballs.
I didn't expect that to be that much, honestly.
And you think about that each year, over 1 million baseballs.
It's a lot of baseballs.
Roughly 4 seasons, 3.5, 4 seasons. As Fedko bounces it over to second, going to his left and throwing across the body is Chardonnay. As there's 1 down, Fedko swinging early on there. As here comes Max Anderson. But big inning for the Braves, Nick. Needed to get those runs in. And by the way of Zach Agnos, they did so in a big way.
Oh my goodness, that was really, really nice to see. And I was speaking with Zach before the game, and he said he felt really good today. So, I've never talked to a guy who says, "Yeah, I feel bad today." but Zach obviously always has a great attitude, and most of the time, he looks like he's feeling good out there. And tonight is definitely one of those nights.
Anderson fouled off a first pitch breaker. Now the 0-1, another breaking ball that Anderson skies into center. Having trouble reading that ball off the bat was
I thought
Cox.
That was gone. That was a shot.
Over 434?
Maybe not that much, but that looked really good off the bat.
Cox makes the catch on a routine fly ball in center. So 2 quick outs. Nick Galley. Braves come up to bat and 2 quick outs.
You should have had me on. No, you probably shouldn't have had me on pitching because then
that's true. We'd rather be on offense when we have you on.
Right now,
I think that's safe to say. Dalton Rushing steps to the plate. And the first pitch he sees a fastball inside at 92. Low 90s fastball from Wallerstedt. Question, will Daniel Coates make it back from the bathroom in time?
I have no idea.
By the time we go to the bottom of the 5th.
It's a hike at this field.
It is 1-0, and Rushing whiffs through a fastball high in the zone, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I just hope he made it past the mascot down there that's been
heckling,
walking around.
He's actually I'll tell you about that after this 1-1. Rushing chops foul. There is a man here. I said a man, yes, who walks around in an Orleans Firebirds bird outfit.
It's quite disturbing.
Quite disturbing. He's actually banned from Veterans Field over in Chatham from what we've been told. Not kidding you. Not kidding. He's actually walked by the booth a few times. I think he makes a laps around the park.
Honestly, if you have that level of confidence,
go for it.
Because I don't.
I don't either.
I don't either. Probably a better way to go about having a good amount of confidence. That might not be the best way, but
1-2, Rushing swings and misses. Pitch in the dirt. Ball gets away from the catcher. Mickness throws on to first where Dalton Rushing is safe. So it's a strikeout. Drop third gets behind the catcher. And all the way down to first goes Rushing. So the Braves potentially with some 2-out magic could be sparked by the, let's say, wild pitch there of Wallerstedt. Mouthful to say.
Hear me out here. I feel a Caden Wallace base hit. No. Okay. Caden Wallace and Wim are going to get on.
Okay.
Single and base hit. Bases loaded. Agnos is going to come up.
What's he going to do?
Smelling grand slam.
Oh.
I'm smelling a cycle.
It's a big-time prediction. Yeah, he was like his first pitch fastball called a strike. That when our Daniel Coates just said he's back now. Daniel said that would leave Agnos a double shy of the cycle.
A single, right?
A single, yes, single.
Yes,
single.
Double, yeah.
Yes.
Tell you what, it will be mighty easy to have a headline tonight if Agnos hits for the cycle. So I am cheering for him.
Oh, my goodness. There's a 0-1.
Woo!
Buzzed the tower. Some chin music upstairs there for Caden Wallace. One ball, 1 strike.
When he told me he was feeling good, I joked around with him before the game. I told him I got you going 8 for 8 tonight with 2 cycles.
Well,
he's on pace.
He's gotten one of these. He's probably gotten the hardest part of the cycle out of the way.
The triple. It's undoubtedly the hardest part.
1-1. That's fouled back to the screen. Well, someone like Billy Hamilton might tell you that the home run's the hardest part.
He would probably. I guess it depends who you talk to, right?
I just had to say that to you. Had to mess with you.
You just had to, huh? You always like to get your jabs in some way.
Always, Nick. It wouldn't be fun messing with you if I didn't.
Oh, you're the only person I know from Georgia, and now I never want to travel there ever.
My goodness.
It's crazy.
That's harsh. 1-2. Let's watch that fastball
I
downstairs.
technically, I've been to Georgia. I had an emergency landing
No
on
way.
a flight to Florida.
Your flight
in
had to
Atlanta.
divert?
Yeah. I guess some guy had a medical emergency on the plane, so we had an emergency land in Georgia, Atlanta.
Medical emergency.
I don't know. I was like 4 years old at that time, so
Okay.
it was probably something pretty grave. My parents probably hid it from me, but
2-2, and Caden Wallace whiffs through a fastball, strike 3. So technically, as we get a fan honking by, technically, Wallerstedt struck out the last 2 guys to end the inning, although 1 reached. Wallace goes down swinging. Nick Galley, it was nice to have you on
Oh, it was
for
a
a
pleasure.
guest appearance here in
we're shaking
the
hands now.
top
All
of
right.
the 5th, even though you're going to go sit right
I'm gonna
back
go sit
next to
right
us.
next to you. So
We go to the bottom of the 5th here at Eldridge Park. The Bourne Braves leading 2-1 with Peter Van Loon back on the mound. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates back with you from Eldridge Park, Orleans, Massachusetts. If you're looking at Orleans on a map of the Cape, it is on the pretty much far eastern side, and it's right before you kind of head up to that whale's tail type geographic.
It's on the inside of the elbow. If you're flexing, trying to pop those biceps, it's on the inside of it, on the inner part of the Cape. One of the most pretty parts of the Cape. Yeah, and it's really just a shot away from Provincetown on the upper tip of Cape Cod. So a beautiful place for baseball, and we saw that with a picture-perfect sky in right field.
The first pitch there to Justin Mickness was fouled off into the woods behind us. The second pitch, a beautiful breaking ball from Van Loon, called strike, and it's 0-2, as Van Loon was outstanding the last inning he threw. That breaking ball misses downstairs and outside. 1-2 the count. To the left-handed hitting Mickness, wearing number 16, and fouls that one over us.
So this is a huge, huge inning for Peter Van Loon, just because once you get to the 7th, if you're the Orleans Firebirds, you're down by 1 and maybe even more depending on how the Braves perform with the bats in their hands. Then you start feeling the pressure bit. You have that single-digit amount of outs to deal with.
1-2, knobbed over to Agnos, and he retreats back and makes a fine running catch over the shoulder and retires Mickness for the first down. That ball was headed towards foul territory where Agnos was, but made a nice catch for the first out to help out his pitcher Van Loon.
Mm-hmm. So a great start there. And as I was saying, if the Orleans Firebirds get out of this inning with no runs and no action done, then they're going to really be counting down those 9 outs that they have to play with.
Showing bunt, a breaking ball, one of the toughest pitches to bunt on there. It's Marcano, David Marcano, and fouled it back to the screen, 0-1. Especially, Daniel, when you think about the back end of the Braves bullpen being one of the best in the Cape League this season, you have guys to deal with out back there like Cole Chidoba, although he did throw a night ago. Doubt we see him today, as that one is skied into left from Marcano. It's a shallow left field here. Braylon Wimmer back near the warning track. Then he makes the catch. That was just a pop-up. It honestly plays almost like the right field at Yankee Stadium is the best way I can describe it, because me and my friends always joke around calling Yankee Stadium Cooperstown Dreams Park out in right. It's kind of how it is in left, just being 300 feet away.
Well, especially with the wind dying down here, you can tell from the flag out there that it's not as wild as it was when we started this game. those flares to left field are going to be ones that you have to keep your eye on, and the ones that Braylon Wimmer's going to have to keep his eye on in left field.
Chatinier digs in. He's struck out twice, both swinging tonight, and both times against the Brave starter, Jake Bennett. So Colt Chidoba through last night, but you still got guys like Tristan Vreeling and Eric Adler. Just to name a few, Austin Parsley also down there. Fastball misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes with 2 down here to the leadoff hitter, number 3 in the right-handed batter's box, Peyton Chatinier.
Van Loon's been clocking in the lower 90s with that fastball, so a lot of good pace, and he silenced the Firebirds for the most part. There was a bit of action that they had as that's a foul ball, but he has recovered and bounced back in a great way for the UC Irvine pitcher. You know, he's gotten out of these little jams, and so too has the Braves defense helped him.
2 balls and a strike after that fastball was fouled away. Van Loon delivers, and that breaking ball breaks back, but high up there to Chatinier, had to bow the head back a little bit. 3 balls, 1 strike. Van Loon looking to avoid any 2-out walks that would set up Orleans with the tying run here in the 5th on base. 3-1. Fastball, and that catches the inner half of the plate. Chatinier didn't think so, was already about to trot on down to first. Umpire gives Van Loon the call, and the count runs full.
Again, another impressive job by Van Loon to just bounce back in this at-bat. He has a payoff pitch coming and an opportunity to set the tone for the Braves bats in the next inning.
3-2 from Van Loon. Fastball upstairs, ball 4. Chatinier will jog on down. It's a 2-out walk for Peter Van Loon, and Rylan Thomas, who is 0 for 2 today. You can't keep this guy quiet for too long, and you hope he doesn't come and bite you right here. But a runner on first and 2 down for the left-handed hitting Thomas, who came into today leading the league in average at a .450 clip. And no, that's not a small sample size that he had either. 18 for 40 coming into play today. First pitch is a fastball and rifled back to the screen behind us, 0-1.
Well, he's been able to get the bat on the ball. He grounded out to the shortstop and grounded out to second, so he just has to square it off. But for the best batter in the Cape Cod League coming into this game, it's been a quiet night for him.
0-1. Van Loon out of the stretch. That fastball misses away. 1-1. 89 on the gun from Van Loon. Where it's a much warmer night than we have seen over the course of the past week, where usually the temp is dipping into the lower 60s. 73 tonight. Van Loon will check on the runner at first in Chatinier.
Rylan Thomas is a USC Trojan. He's been representing the Pac-12 well in this West Coast battle between Peter Van Loon and Rylan. He's coming to a 1-1 knot.
That one fouled away. You heard the crack of the bat through our audio mics. 90-mile-an-hour fastball there from Van Loon. Ahead in the count, 1-2. Trying to work around a 2-out walk here in the bottom of the 5th. Looking to send this game to the 6th with the Braves still leading 2-1. In which next inning the Braves would have their 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Starting with Wimmer. 1-2 runner on the move. Burns throw down to second. Tag applied. He is safe. Just getting under that tag was Peyton Chatinier as the Orleans Firebirds steal their 3rd bag of the night.
And now with the most dangerous batter at the plate, Rylan Thomas, and a man in scoring position, this 2-out bottom of the 5th has turned into a scoring opportunity for the Firebirds.
Big 2-2 upcoming here from Van Loon. It's a fastball grounded off of the feet of Van Loon, ricochets over to Tanner Schobel, who puts the ball in his back pocket. It's an infield single for Rylan Thomas, and now Orleans threatening with runners on the corners. And 2 down here for Connor Cox, 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts today.
Just a bad break for Peter Van Loon. That one is a grounder. It bounces off his right ankle, deflects to Tanner Schobel, who had already gone to cover second. But a good job by Schobel just to keep that in the infield, keep it in front of him, and make sure that that third base runner in Peyton Chatinier stays at third. But an opportunity to just get out of this inning for Van Loon.
So Chatinier over at third as Van Loon delivers. Fastball outside, 1-0. Here to Connor Cox, the center fielder, bounced out to Goodwin and bounced out to Schobel in his 2 trips to the plate in the first and in the third. The Braves host the Falmouth Commodores at home tomorrow night at Dorn Park before an off day Thursday, before being at home against Hyannis Friday night. Fastball high and tight. 2-0. That 2-out walk creating trouble here for Van Loon as he looks to work out of a jam. Bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Braves. Both teams with 4 hits apiece on the scoreboard. Van Loon delivers, runner on the move. Burns, throw down to second. It pulls Nick Goodwin there into a dive, which allows the runner at third and Chardonnay to come home. Chardonnay actually broke with that Burns throw down to second. And all with 2 outs, Orleans came storming back to tie this game at 2 here in the 5th.
Yeah, just an interesting decision by Peter Burns to go down to second there. You could have 2 men in scoring position, 1 scoring in Chardonnay, but now there's still an Orleans Firebird at second and in scoring position. So just a tough play, and we're knotted up here now at Eldridge Park.
Yeah, now 4 for 4 in stolen base attempts today are the Orleans Firebirds. So running all over Peter Burns today. That 3-0 found a strike on the outer half from Van Loon. 3-1 to Connor Cox. As a fastball delivered and fouled directly out of play back into the parking lot. Count is full. A stolen base from DeLauder, 1 from McKenzie, and then 1 each from Chardonnay and Thomas. That's where Thomas stands at second. Cox in a full count. Van Loon and the runner now on the move. Van Loon will step off, throw over to Agnos, where they tag him out. So getting a little too gritty off the bag there was Rylan Thomas. Van Loon will pitch it over to Agnos. And Van Loon does a nice job to not allow any more damage after 1 run comes across Peyton Chardonnay. Does it all in the base path, steals second, comes home after Rylan Thomas swipes the bag. And the Orleans Firebirds have tied it up at 2 as we head to the 6th from Eldridge Park. Reeves Jackson, Daniel Coates return to Eldridge Park, where we go to the top of the 6th. Braves sending Braylon Wimmer, Zach Agnos, and Nick Goodwin to the plate, where the game is now knotted up at 2. First pitch to Wimmer, a breaking ball, still from Wallerstedt in the game for Orleans. After pitching a scoreless top of the 5th, Wimmer sends this one deep into right on the run. His DeLauder makes a fine running catch with the glove on the left hand as he approached that wall out there in straightaway right, nearly down the line. Wimmer flies out deep, 1 down.
But not much more you can ask from Wimmer. He put a good hit on it, sent it opposite field. Just DeLauder was there and was quick enough to make the play and move from his left and just snag that at the highest point that he could.
Agnos has done the damage for the Braves today, a 2-run triple. And Tardy on a fastball at 92 from Wallerstedt.
Zach Agnos has been the leading candidate the last few innings for player of the game. He had that double, RBI triple.
0-1 that he sends back to the screen behind him and quickly down 0-2.
And not to mention, Reeves, that impressive basket over the shoulder catch from Zach Agnos at third. So he's been doing it in all facets tonight.
0-2, breaking ball, a little 2 inside. Agnos still alive here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Night skies have dawned on us here at Eldred's Park, where the wind has severely died down. As we mentioned, Agnos sent that foul ball over the net. 1-2 still.
Agnos behind in the count now. He's improving on that .217 average he came in with.
1-2, and Agnos, inside pitch that he inside outs, fly ball down the right field line, chasing all the way into the crowd. Did he make the catch? It was Marcano. As the umpire holds up the hands, a foul ball signal. Did he make the catch, or are they going to get Agnos back to the plate? Marcano, believe he caught it, or at least I thought he did, then went diving into a pile of fans.
I hope everyone's okay. He was coming in with a head of steam right into a group of fans. I thought he made the catch.
I thought he did as well, but
we didn't have a good view at it. We're on the third base side, so he went towards that last part of the netting where the first fans are able to sit closer to the field.
Wow.
But that's as exciting of a play as we're going to get. Hopefully everyone's okay. It looks like there is, but the ump just didn't have a look at it. And I'm still not sure what exactly happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it popped out or not. It might have, obviously, over there. Agnos still at the plate here, 1-2 count. Delivery and able to foul it off near the Bat Boys for Orleans, near their dugout, as Wallerstedt looking to take care of the hot Braves hitter today. 2 for 2, a double, and a 2-run triple. That came back in the fourth. 1-2, Wallerstedt delivers, and Agnos tardy on a fastball. Strike 3, 2 down.
Zach Agnos got a lot of those pitches fouled off, but just couldn't connect on one solidly. And his 2-2 day drops to 2-3, but not a lot more you can ask from the ECU Pirate. Here comes Nick Goodwin, a guy from Kansas State, who you'd love to see
Takes
an offensive outburst from him.
Yeah, takes a fastball inside for a strike. Goodwin 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs today, both swinging. 0-1 here from Wallerstedt. And Goodwin is going to take that breaking ball and serve it into right field for a 2-out single. Good piece of hitting there by Nick Goodwin. And that's what you'd like to see from the Braves' second baseman today. 2-out single, and that'll bring up Peter Burns.
And a great hit from Nick Goodwin. He was just on the right side of the ball. He smacked it, and it flared just shy of DeLauder in right field. And the Kansas State product now at first, and he's quick. You know, we're seeing him at second, so he could really burn it up on the base path.
Peter Burns takes this first pitch fastball down the left field line and I believe onto the street.
It actually ricocheted off the light pole right down into the street. I think there's some traffic now as they saw that ball cross.
0-1 count to the guy they call Petey. 0-1 to Burns with Goodwin at first. Peter Burns line drive up the middle, base hit. That gets past the diving Chardonnay, taking the turnaround second and heading to third is Nick Goodwin. And the Braves have some 2-out business after a Goodwin single and a Peter Burns single, which brings up Tanner Schobel with a chance to give the Braves the lead.
Yeah, Petey sending Nick Goodwin over to third from first. That was a rocket just past the diving glove of Chardonnay up the middle. We're going to have a first and third situation, and the last time we saw a first and third in this game, Chardonnay scored from third and tied the game up 2-2. So maybe we see that with a steal from Peter Burns. Who knows?
Oh, my goodness. That would be quite something if we saw Burns on the run.
It'd be poetic justice.
It would be poetic justice from him himself. You're right. As Tanner Schobel takes a first pitch fastball and serves it out of play towards the right side, 0-1. I have seen crazier things happen, though.
Tanner Schobel struck out twice in this game, looking to bounce back. .363 average coming into this game. Those 2 strikeouts aren't going to help it, but he has a first and third opportunity.
2 consecutive fastballs that Schobel has fought off. This one back into the screen. 0-2.
And he has a chance to right those wrongs, which with a single that would surely score Nick Goodwin from third. But again, a guy like Nick Goodwin getting on base and Peter Burns there, that shows where the offense has been lacking in the last couple of games where we've seen that offense take a slide.
0-2 breaking ball. That's in the dirt. But scooped up there by Mickness behind the plate. A big opportunity for the Bourne Braves after 2 two-out singles from both Nick Goodwin and Peter Burns, respectively. Wallerstedt from the stretch, the 1-2. Schobel will fight off a 79-mile-an-hour curveball near the Bourne Braves dugout. And the count remains at 1-2. Schobel 0 for 2, as you mentioned, Daniel. After yesterday went 2 for 3 with 2 hard-hit singles up the middle against Catuit.
The Virginia Tech Hokie has been quite impressive.
1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove of Mickness, and Schobel chases some high heat there from Wallerstedt. The Braves get 2 singles with 2 down, but strand runners at the corners. We head to the home half of the 6th. This game's all knotted up at 2 apiece. Peter Van Loon back out here, bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Cox, DeLauder, and Locklear for Orleans, as they will try to take the lead against Bourne. All tied up at 2.
2 ground outs for Cox on the day, so the infield has to be on their toes here.
First pitch that he skies high into the night sky, but well out of play down the right field line into the parking lot. As a matter of fact.
Count that on the tallies of the amount of balls that we're using here today after Reeves' question of the day.
0-1 and a weak pop-up over to Dalton Rushing in foul territory. He scoots over, makes the catch, 1 down. Good start for Van Loon.
Just gets away from the first base umpire who scooted right past Dalton Rushing, but Rushing makes the play off a pop-up in foul territory just to the left of the bag. But a good way to start off this inning for Peter Van Loon, who has been throwing strikes, and he's dealing. It's just these Firebirds are really making the most of their opportunities at the base path.
Now Van Loon will face the hottest Orleans hitter today, and Chase DeLauder, 2 for 2, 2 singles, starts him off with an 84-mile-an-hour bender, hits the outer half, 0-1 the count. Van Loon right back into the windup, working quickly, and look at that ball, absolutely roped, almost took Van Loon's head off. A breaking ball that DeLauder smacks into center. He's 3 for 3 today. I've been really impressed with Chase DeLauder.
Really, really good stuff. The entire day for Chase DeLauder. You know, he is a guy coming from James Madison University. He led the team and the league in home runs. He's just an impressive batter. Batted .386 for JMU, 21 RBIs, 12 doubles, and it shows why today.
First pitch to Locklear is fouled off the shin guards of Peter Burns. 0-1 the count as Zach Agnos retrieves the foul ball. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates down with you live here from right here near the Bourne Braves dugout on the third base line. Almost have a diagonal view to the right-handed hitter in the box in Locklear. Compared to where home plate is, straight up, 0-1 the count as that pickoff move. Just a check over there on DeLauder.
It's usually where we are during a road game, you know, kind of by that third base side, just towards the Bourne Braves dugout. I still would take the Wareham Capeman setup.
Absolutely. This one bounced over to Schobel. Beautiful backhand pick and makes a strike throw over to first to Dalton Rushing. Beautiful delivery by Schobel with an even better defensive pick over there at short. The runner at second and DeLauder advances. Only one play, and a good job there to get Locklear 2 away.
And it might sound like a routine play that Tanner Schobel just made over the airwaves, but I'll tell you what, that dipped off of that ledge between the grass and the dirt. It was a backhanded ground ball that Tanner Schobel had to reach down further for as he was attacking it, and then to gun it over to Dalton Rushing. That is a tough play that he made look really easy.
First pitch in the dirt there, scooped up by Peter Burns. 1-0 the count. Here to Jared McKenzie. He's 1 for 2 today. A single reached on a fielder's choice, also has a stolen base. Fastball misses away. 2 balls and no strikes.
The runner in scoring position. Again, another opportunity for Van Loon to get out and leave Orleans players on the base path. The Braves need some sort of offensive spark if they want to get out of here with a win.
Van Loon has missed with 3 consecutive, perhaps wanting to deal with Julio Marcano, who is the righty in the on-deck circle, perhaps wanting to go righty-righty, maybe pitching around McKenzie here, perhaps. And maybe to set up a force at any base. We'll see what Van Loon comes with here on the 3-0 pitch. Out of the stretch, delivers. Fastball, called strike. And having a trouble with that is Jared McKenzie, and same with the Orleans faithful. Pitch appeared to be outside, but getting a generous call there was Van Loon.
It was close, but we'll take it. I mean, it pushes Van Loon right back into this at-bat.
Absolutely, sure does.
A 3-1 count. Now McKenzie has to be ready for something to hit.
See what Van Loon wants to attack with here. Looks back, now delivers. Fastball fouled right back towards where the Orleans broadcasters sit, nearly directly behind the plate. And all of a sudden, after that generous strike call that we got, count runs full, Daniel, 3-2. What would you go with right here? Did you go breaking ball or do you go fastball again?
I think McKenzie's going to be very eager to defend the plate as well as maybe just knock home his Orleans Firebird base runner at second. So I think I would go off speed here.
I like that call a lot. I really do. Because worst case, you have a base open at first.
Mm-hmm.
You have a righty-righty situation on deck in Marcano, who bounced out into a fielder's choice and struck out today. Did strike out against Van Loon, so you have already seen that guy today. And you struck him out, so maybe you feel more confident and you decide to be riskier here with 2 strikes. Van Loon steps off the back of the rubber. He'll reset here with Peter Burns. Obviously got to change the signals up with the runner on second. It's not just a one signal and go. You got to have multiple signs and obviously a rhyme to the reason. 3-2. Fastball that is punched out of play over us.
And he didn't take my advice.
He
That
did
was a
not.
91-mile-per-hour fastball on the outer half that McKenzie just sent right over the street here in Orleans. But again, if I'm playing the Tony Romo color commentator role right now,
Which
I'm
you
saying,
are.
which I am, I'm going to say try and change it up here. McKenzie is eager, and he's right on top of it. We have word that Xavier Lovett is warming up at the bullpen for the Braves.
3-2, and that one is punched out of play. A lot of foul balls, a lot of lost balls here today. But good to see that, as Xavier Lovett, a guy that has been excellent in his 2 outings this year. So a big power arm, mid-90s in the back of the Braves bullpen would be expected to be seen depending on how Van Loon does here against Jared McKenzie. You've already fought back. Why not go after him one more time here? Van Loon from the stretch. The payoff pitch. Fastball once again fought off into the net behind us. It is 3-2.
McKenzie does not want to go back to the dugout. He is battling really hard. For the 6-spot hitter who is 1 for 2 on the day, he got on base with a fielder's choice back in the 4th, but Van Loon is having a hard time finishing this at bat.
Van Loon ready one more time. 3-2. Oh my goodness.
What do you think happened?
Fouled out of play. Umpire asking for a few more baseballs here and potentially what could be the next pitch if McKenzie is able to spoil another. A lot of pitches here in this at-bat, approaching 10. Van Loon comes set. We're going to have another payoff. A delivery. This one is grounded over to short. Tanner Schobel fields it. Comes up, throwing the ball is dropped over at first by Dalton Rushing. It was a strike. A perfect throw. And Rushing pats his chest saying, my bad, Tanner. It's going to be an E3, and the inning stays alive.
And it looks like Dalton Rushing was just a bit too eager to close the glove there. He was there with the stretch. Tanner Schobel had that play all knotted up. But Dalton Rushing just can't squeeze it. That's really the first mistake we've seen with him in the field at first.
And Harvey
Not
Shapiro,
just this game, but
Yeah.
this entire season. He's really been the staple key player over there on the right field line.
Harvey Shapiro out of the dugout. He's going to make the call to the bullpen. Expected to see Xavier Lovett, who's going to be on in relief with the runners at the corners against Julio Marcano when we come back from Eldridge Park. Well, we were told it was Xavier Lovett warming up in the bullpen, but it was also Ken Turner, and that's who's going to come into the game for the Braves. It'll be the Hartford right-hander making his third appearance on the season.
Yeah, the Hartford right-hander has been solid. I think that's the best word, as he has pitched in 2 different games, 4 innings pitched. He's recorded 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, let up 4 hits, the majority of those coming in the tie against Harwich. And that was during that lightning delay. He let up 3 hits in 2 innings pitched, as well as 1 run. He also let up 1 run in his appearance in the 13-8 victory at Falmouth. That was June 23rd, which was, I believe, the 4th game of the season, if I'm correct, at Gov Fuller.
You are correct. Well, Ken Turner trying to come up big for the Braves. It's Julio Marcano, the first batter, and a first pitch. Strike, I believe. Didn't totally see the umpire stick the hand out. Yeah, it's going to be a ball. It's 1-0.
Peter Burns trying to have a word with Ken Turner to start things off. Just trying to get on the same page, especially after you've dealt with Peter Van Loon for a couple of innings.
Obviously, Bennett
as well as Bennett.
Yes, absolutely. So the second consecutive right-hander in for the Bravos after the lefty Bennett started things off. Peter Burns out in front of the plate. It'll be interesting here, Daniel. Obviously, we saw last time with Orleans having runners on the corners, the runner steal, then Peter Burns threw it down to second. Runner came home in Chatagnier. Obviously, McKenzie already has a stolen base aboard at first. 1-0 count. Turner with a quick delivery to the plate. Quicker than Van Loon. Breaking ball misses low. 74 on the gun. 2 balls and no strikes.
The last time we saw this situation with a man on first and third for the Firebirds, Peter Burns gunned it down to second, trying to get a stealing man from first to second. It was unsuccessful, and a Firebird scored. That one tied up the game 2-2.
Yeah, 3 consecutive pitches have missed out of the zone, not particularly close to the zone. And Ken Turner in danger of putting Marcano on, which would load the bases for Justin Mickness, who's 0 for 1 on deck. 3-0 from Turner. Fastball, called strike. Outer half already on his way to first was Marcano. That was a solid pitch there from Turner. And gets on the board, 3-1.
It must be such a deflating feeling trotting down to first, and then you hear the umpire just go, "Huh."
Even worse if you flip the bat away.
That is, you're right, that is worse. Then you have to go retrieve it, get back. You know,
Yes,
the whole
the whole shebang. 3-1 called strike, same pitch, good pitch there from Turner. 86-mile-an-hour fastball. Something just fell from the light pole down the third baseline. There is a big old bird's nest up there. Looked like some pine straw that just fell. Regardless.
Or a Firebird's nest.
Yes. Good call. Mr. Coates in the galley did not look on in approval. 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. A big pitch there from Ken Turner was down on the count 3-0. 3 consecutive pitches, 2 fastballs on the outer half, and a breaking ball gets Marcano to swing and miss. We head to the 7th in Orleans with the Braves bats. Look to give them the lead when we come back with Daniel Coates on the call from Eldridge Park. Reeves Jackson, Daniel Coates back with you. Top of the Braves order, looking to take the lead on the top of the 7th. I'll turn it over to my partner here. It's Daniel Coates.
Thank you, Reeves. We are completely under the lights here at Eldridge Park to start things off. Is the way we started things off in the first inning. The top of the order, Kyler Fedko against Wallerstedt. Missing high to start things off. Kyler Fedko takes that one and doesn't even step out of the batter's box.
He's ready to hit, baby.
He's ready to go. He was hit by a pitch in the first. A second ball low to Wallerstedt, or from Wallerstedt. 2-0. He was hit by a pitch in the first, struck out in the third, grounded to second base in the fifth. Wallerstedt from Arizona State. High fly ball. That's going towards the 300 mark. Could it be? No, just shy. Right over the fence. What a play there from Mackenzie, robbing Kyler Fedko of a home run. Boy, oh boy, the wind has died down. Mackenzie completely robbing Kyler Fedko of a home run there in left field. Holy moly.
Wow.
That was as close as it gets. We don't have the best view down the third base line. It's kind of blocked by the dugout, but that was as close to a home run as you can get. Foul ball there from Max Anderson down the right field line, but what a play from Mackenzie in left.
I thought it was gone. Off the bat, I didn't even think it was going to be able to have a chance for Mackenzie to make a play on that ball. He was a little turned around. I saw you, Daniel, standing up on the chair. I kind of standed up on the tippy toes, and Mackenzie ended up turning around, and that glove was over the fence. That was a for sure home run from Kyler Fedko that he just took away.
Wow. 1-1 to Max Anderson, but a deflating trot back to the dugout for Kyler Fedko. It was right towards that 300 mark in left field. 1-1, another high pop fly. Looks like it's going towards the third base. And he's got it. That is Locklear for the pop fly. 2 outs. And boy, I can't get over that Kyler Fedko homer that was just robbed. Mackenzie just reaching over with that right hand and snagging it. We're going to have a meeting at the pitcher's mound. I think that is going to do it for Wallerstedt.
Yeah, outstanding. Almost was touched up by the home run. Gets the handshake from the field manager. And we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back here from Orleans.
Zach Morris is taking the mound for the Orleans Firebirds. 2-2 score. Kyler Fedko and Max Anderson both got the barrel of the bat. But the Orleans Firebirds defense takes care of them. And there are 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And Zach Morris looking to keep it that way.
Yeah, on for a lefty-lefty matchup against Dalton Rushing. Zach Morris from Arkansas, from hometown of Austin, Arkansas, 6'3", 220-pound left-hander, making his 4th appearance on the season. And in his 3 outings so far, a 3 ERA, he's issued 3 hits, 2 walks, he struck out 2. The only run he gave up was at Cotuit on June 30th in a 12-4 win, pitched a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 1 was earned though. And then issued 2 walks in that outing as well. So hopefully the Braves can give him back-to-back rougher outings than he would be hoping for, but 2 down, he's got the lefty rushing at the plate.
And on deck is his Arkansas Razorback teammate, Caden Wallace. The lefty now with 2 outs in the top of the 7th, misses low and outside, ball 1. Zach Morris has only pitched more than 1 inning twice in his 16 appearances for Arkansas this past season, so not someone to be expected to go the distance here, as we are 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Hard hit, ground ball, but it is scooped up at second by Chatinier. Right over to Marcano. Dalton rushing grounds out for out number 3 in the top of the 7th. So 2 pitches from Zach Morris and the top of the 7th. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th, where the Braves are knotted up on the road with the Orleans Firebirds, 2-2. Ken Turner on the mound for the Braves to start the bottom of the 7th. He got out of a 3-2 jam, and here comes Justin Mickness, the catcher. High fly ball. That's towards the deep part of center field. Kyler Fedko right underneath it. A fly out and 1 out for Mickness to start the bottom of the 7th. That was a really well-hit ball just to that 434 mark, where only Frank Thomas has been known to hit it over that mark. And if you're a baseball fan, you know who I'm talking about.
The Big Hurt Baby.
David Marcano, brother of Julio Marcano, who struck out to Ken Turner last inning in the bottom of the 6th for out number 3, is up to the plate. Breaking ball sprayed back into the net, foul. A good catch by Peyton Chatinier on deck right off the net. 0-1, 1 out. A beautiful night in Eldridge Park. The crowd has remained steady. Hard line drive back towards that crowd, foul, as the kids scramble for it and jump on top of it. 0-2, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. The Bourne Braves are knotted up with the Orleans Firebirds 2-2 under the lights, and there is more action to come. High fly ball, that's going to go towards right field. Coming in is Wallace. He's under it, and he closes the glove on it. 2 outs. A fly ball to David Marcano is out number 2, and Ken Turner getting through the bottom of the 7th quickly.
Yeah, Ken Turner looking very effective here as we begin this home half of the 7th, where we were serenaded with a rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the bottom of the 7th.
I got to say, it's a tough angle, but it's one of my favorite places so far to call a game from first pitch breaking ball, low and outside, strike one. But it is just a cool atmosphere here. That hill is completely filled. A perfect night doesn't hurt that case.
Yeah, it feels incredible tonight. One of the best nights of weather we've had thus far this season.
Another breaking ball and another fly ball. Coming in is Kyler Fedko. Underneath it actually is Nick Goodwin, who takes over at second in shallow center field. That's going to do it. 3 outs quickly for Ken Turner from Hartford. And the Bourne Braves will have the bats back in their hands in the top of the 8th. 2-2 West versus East Division game in Orleans. Top of the 8th, and another opportunity for the Braves to get runs on the board. They are tied with the Orleans Firebirds, who have put the fire in Firebirds as of late. Very hot win streak going.
Up until last night.
Just before this, and so too did the Bourne Braves with the first 11 games going defeatless. First pitch breaking ball inside for Caden Wallace, strike one.
Yeah, hoping for a little Razorback on Razorback crime here in the top of the 8th. Caden Wallace against his teammate Zach Morris. I'm sure they're loving this battle right here.
1-1 after fastball misses low and outside. Braylon Wimmer on deck. In the hole will be Zach Agnos. And as I was saying off the air, I think this has to be the inning where the bats wake up a bit. 1-1. Morris. Swing and a miss. Caden Wallace was on top of it, but whiffs. 1-2. So no outs, top of the 8th. Caden Wallace, the 4 spot. Behind him, the 5 spot, Braylon Wimmer. Faces a 1-2 count behind early on. The delivery, high fastball, too far upstairs, 2-2. A good way to hold off from that. It was just at the eyes of Caden Wallace. Caden Wallace, who had the most at-bats of any Razorback this past season. He was second in hits on the team. And Zach Morris, the other Razorback, left-hander, on the mound. High fly ball to right field. That is a shallow part 3. 14 is the number, and at the warning track is DeLauder just cutting it off from the fence. Fly ball to right field is the first out for Caden Wallace.
Off the bat, Daniel, I thought that had a chance to get out of there. It was close, but ball does not seem to be carrying today.
No, definitely doesn't. I still think that the wind is playing a bit of a factor out there in the outfield. We can't feel it much behind the backstop now.
See the flag, though.
Exactly, and you can see it very slowly waving in the wind. Here comes Braylon Wimmer. Breaking ball drops low and inside, ball 1. Morris will be pitching from the stretch, which is something that we've seen a lot from relief pitchers as well as closers. Zach Agnos on deck, 1-0, 2-0 after a fastball drops low. Braylon Wimmer on the night. He grounded to first. He actually scored off Zach Agnos' triple, and he flew out to right field. Hard hit. That's going to get over the glove of Marcano. He should have had it. It was really hard hit, and it dribbles towards DeLauder in right field. Ooh. So looks like they're going to put that up as an error, I believe it should be. It was right to Marcano.
That was a short of base hit. I think it took a pretty bad hop right off of that dirt and off of the glove of Marcano. That was a tough play, and it'll be a base hit for Wimmer.
And it will be Wimmer's second base knock of the game. That was really hard hit opposite field right down the first base line. Marcano couldn't handle the jump off the ledge between the grass and the dirt. Zach Agnos watches a first pitch high, ball 1 from Zach Morris.
It's be big right here. Agnos can replicate any of those extra base hits he had today. Wimmer, who runs well, on a board at first.
Only 1 out. Swing and a miss upstairs. 1-1. I'm sure Agnos wants that one back. He started his movement towards the ball when it was lower, and that fastball just rose right at him and finished at his eyes. 1-1. The ECU Pirate already has a double and a triple that scored 2 on the day. Braylon Wimmer scurries on back to first base. Zach Morris checking in, seeing how he's doing. Seeing if he needs anything, if he's all right.
Yeah, just giving a little room service over there at first.
But all kidding aside, Braylon Wimmer is way quicker than he seems. I was saying this yesterday against Katuitt. You see that frame, and he really proves that wrong. Foul dribbled towards the Orleans Firebirds dugout, 1-2. But you look at him, he's tall, he's lanky. You might say he might not be the quickest guy, but he has some speed. He took off last night from first to second, and before I even blinked, he was there.
Yeah, and big thanks to those long strides that he has with that big frame and long legs. Allows him to gain ground. Kind of like a Freddie Freeman sneaky speed for the Braves. I'm a Braves fan. Had to mention that.
1-2. Morris checks on Braylon Wimmer again. He's safe. It stays at 1-2. 1 out, top of the 8th. There will only be 2 more opportunities for the Braves to light it up with the bats. As you can hear the honking, people just trying to say hello, passing by Eldridge Park. 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, swung on and missed. That's going to do it for Zach Agnos. It dropped completely off the table as Zach Agnos dropped to 1 knee. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Wimmer remains at first, and here comes Nick Goodwin, who got back on track with a single to right field in his last appearance.
Yeah, Goodwin looking to replicate the same success that he had in his last debut, just inside out of the ball and delivered it into right field in front of DeLauder, and hoping to put one in the gap here and bringing Wimmer around would be big.
Hard hit line drive just over the second baseman. Wimmer staying at second, and Nick Goodwin with the second hit of his appearance tonight. He will make it a first and second situation with Peter Burns at the plate and a man in scoring position. Braylon Wimmer atop of second base. And how about Nick Goodwin?
Love it, baby. Love to see that.
Answering for his slow offensive production of the last few games.
Yeah, he's on these pitches the past 2 at-bats, and that was a beautiful piece of hitting. Went opposite field again over the jumping head of Chatagnier over at second, and Wimmer, smart to hold on at second. Don't want to run yourself into a third out of the inning at third, and a base hit from Peter Burns. You know Harvey Shapiro is going to be sending Braylon to the plate.
Here comes Peter Burns, singled in his last appearance to the plate. Fastball in the dirt. 1-0. Morris found himself, or I should say finds himself in a potential opportunity where the Braves could score by the feet of Braylon Wimmer at second. Peter Burns ripped a laser right past the diving glove of Chatinier 2 innings ago. 1-0. And that is a fastball that catches, clocking in at 90 on the outer half of the zone. 1-1. Peter Burns has done it defensively, but he has shown that he can be effective with the bat in his hands. Of course, Colton Bender, one of the statistically the best batter on the team, and he is the catcher that we might be seeing tomorrow against Falmouth. They usually go 1-1. Breaking ball makes it 1-2, but Colton Bender usually flips with Peter Burns every other game.
Yes, he does. Obviously got to keep those legs fresh behind the plate. Harvey Shapiro does an excellent job of doing that. Now knowing that we are not getting C.J. Rodriguez or Silas Ardoin into the Cape, and likely not Parker Noland either. So all those guys obviously went deep into the College World Series. Texas the semifinals, and Vandy lost in the championship to Mississippi State. Stormire received Cade Smith, though.
2-1 breaking ball drops on the plate. Braylon Wimmer still thinking about it as the catcher, Mickness, wasn't too eager to go down and grab it. But men on first and second for the Braves. A 3-1 count to Peter Burns, who singled in his last at-bat. On deck, Tanner Schobel from Virginia Tech. The Braves in blue looking to put some runs on the board in the top of the 8th. Morris giving Wimmer a look. That's a fastball that catches inside. Peter Burns is about to throw the bat over to the dugout, but he has to reset and step back in.
Yeah, runners will be on the move here. Action count on the way. If Peter can drop a base hit and Braylon easily scores from second, this is a pivotal point, probably the most pivotal point we've reached at this game so far.
3-2 with only one more opportunity after this inning for the Braves to get the bats going. Hard hit ground ball. That's going to be towards the second baseman, Chatinier. He scoops it up and flicks it over to the first baseman, and that will do it for the top of the 8th. 2 men left on base, and the story continues. Men left on base have been the worry of Harvey Shapiro and this Bourne Braves team. 9-1-2, tied up here 2-2 on the road in Orleans. The Firebirds will have the bats in their hands just after this in the bottom of the 8th. Turns out that when Ken Turner was warming up and Xavier Lovett was, Harvey Shapiro had a plan all along. Xavier Lovett is warming up on the mound, bottom of the 8th, 2-2. The Braves and the Firebirds are knotted up. And Xavier Lovett from Mississippi State, the Bulldog and 2021 College World Series champion. He wasn't down in Omaha for that as he was not on the travel roster, but he is an NCAA champion nonetheless. Will try and take care of the Firebirds in this tie game.
Yeah, Xavier Lovett now in his 3rd appearance on the season. He's been nothing short of impressive with that low to mid-90s fastball. Obviously his last outing against Harwich in the latter half of that game kept the game at tie. 1 inning, didn't allow a hit, walked 1, struck out 2. His first outing at Katuitt, a scoreless inning where he faced the minimum and struck out 1. So Xavier Lovett with the toughest part of this order. He's got the league's leading hitter. He's got Connor Cox, and then he's got Chase DeLauder, who's only 3 for 3 tonight, with 3 of the hardest hit singles I've seen this season. He's got his hands full.
Xavier Lovett delivering from the stretch. A slap towards Tanner Schobel, ground ball, gunning it over and getting Rylan Thomas. He is 1 for 4 on the day and silencing the hottest batter in the Cape. The Braves might have seen him for the last time tonight. Xavier Lovett gets the first out in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it right now. I think Tanner Schobel's the best fielding middle infielder that the Braves have on the squad. He is.
And we often saw
excellent.
him at that second base position, but I really like the move to his right over towards the shortstop position. The 3-spot hitter, another ground ball. That's going to get between Agnos and Schobel for a base knock. That is Connor Cox, the center fielder, getting on base off of a Xavier Lovett fastball on the inside part. Not much Tanner Schobel or Agnos could do. It split them equally. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Here comes Chase DeLauder, who's had quite a day. 3 for 3. He scored in the second off of a single, and he had another pair of singles every other inning. Going high fly ball. That was Connor Cox taking off. The fly ball will retreat him. 0-1. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Cox took off immediately, eager to get men in scoring position. And who better to send him home than Chase DeLauder? He singled in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and singled in the 6th. He scored back in the 2nd, 1 of 2 runs.
Yeah, this is an Orleans team that doesn't run quite often, but they're running a lot tonight.
Breaking ball drops into the lower corner zone. 0-2 on the outside part for this lefty hitter. DeLauder, we saw him in right field. He's made some impressive defensive plays, but the real story for him tonight has been how he has produced with the bat. 0-2, checking in on Cox. He dives back. He's safe, rushing, getting it right back to Xavier Lovett. So Xavier Lovett, 0-2. We knew he was kind of dealing with some injuries. We didn't see him a lot at the beginning of this season. This is his 2nd appearance. Last time was at Harwich against Harwich at Doran Park in the 8th inning. And that one gets by Peter Burns. Advancing to 2nd is Cox. A wild pitch puts an Orleans Firebird in scoring position.
And nowhere close to the zone, just inside, and not a chance for Peter Burns to grab that. As backing up in the box was DeLauder. So essentially, they were trying to steal 2nd, and essentially they get that done with now Cox 2nd after the wild pitch, but trying to get DeLauder here with 2 strikes. Need to get him here.
But as I was saying, he was relieved in the 9th inning by Eric Adler, who I wonder if we're going to see tonight.
He's up in the pen right now.
1-2. Ground ball up the middle. Chopper. Tanner Schobel attacks, guns it. Dalton Rushing secures it at first, out number 2, but moving over to 3rd is Cox.
Yeah, big 2nd out there. Tanner Schobel, sure-handed as ever. We were told the infield plays slow, and it did there. That ground ball didn't pop into Schobel's chest like he thought it was going to. Took a little bounce to his left, ended up sticking the glove out, got it, and one of the stronger arms in the infield. Schobel delivered a strike, but not out of the woods yet. Runner at 3rd, and here comes Tyler Locklear.
Tyler Locklear has an opportunity to put the Orleans Firebirds ahead with a base hit.
Yeah, he's only good at driving in the most runs of anybody this year.
Breaking ball catches the upper part of the zone. 0-1, 2 outs. Cox threatening at 3rd base. The right-handed batter, Locklear, grounded to short his last appearance. He grounds there, but it's foul to the right of Zach Agnos at 3rd.
This has got to make a big-time pitch if you're Lovett. Not too big of a fan of a waste pitch here. If you do, I say go fastball upstairs, but get it upstairs and get it high. But maybe change the eye level with the breaking ball after that, but we'll see how Lovett wants to attack here. 0-2.
0-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, man on third. Just outside with the fastball, clocking in at 93. Peter Burns did his best to frame it, but he wasn't fooling the home plate umpire. 1-2.
Yeah, trying to get that outside, trying to get Locklear to chase. Wonder if he sets him up something, maybe a backdoor, I should say front door breaking ball. We'll see.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fouled off.
94 from Xavier Lovett. He's feeling it right now, trying to blow one past Locklear.
Locklear sprays it back into the net. 1-2 it remains. 2 outs, and Cox stalking the third base line. Behind him is his coach. It's a 1-2 count. Xavier Lovett intensely in the stretch. 1-2. Breaking ball high and inside, just past Locklear's left shoulder. 2-2. It drops, and the count's knotted up.
Yeah, that's where I thought they were going to go. That's why I was wanting a breaking ball to try to front door it on Locklear and get him, but obviously didn't execute it as well as he wanted to. But I say go back to a heater right here on 2-2, Daniel.
2-2. 2 outs. Breaking ball, and that's right to Zach Agnos. Line drive to the third baseman. Does it. The national champion Mississippi State Bulldog gets out of a scary situation and remains tied here at Eldridge Park with the Braves. And their last opportunity to put some runs on the board is coming up. Daniel Coates, Reeves Jackson follow along as he's going to take the play-by-play duties in the 9th inning. Welcome to the 9th inning, and welcome to Eldridge Park. My name is Daniel Coates. Nick Hull has taken the mound for the Orleans Firebirds to close this tie game out, and Joe Lampe will be pinch hitting. I'm going to send it to you, Reeves. We have one heck of a ball game and one heck of a night for Cape Cod League Baseball.
And the last chance to get things done if we want to win this game. If not, we'll have to rely on the bullpen to save us a tie in the bottom half. It's going to be Joe Lampe pinch hitting for Schobel in the 9th spot. Lampe got the day off today after striking out 3 times yesterday against Nick Hull in his 4th appearance, a 1.92 ERA across 4 2/3 innings. Struck out 6, allowed 4 hits. And the first pitch to Lampe, and as you guessed when we were off the air, Daniel, he squared around to show bunt, pulled back on a fastball away at 90. 1 ball, no strikes. 4 hits and 1 earned run against Catuit on June 24th. Other than that, he has been pretty much perfect other than a pair of walks separated out across 2 outings for Hull. 1-0. Lampe shows bunt. It's basically a ground ball to first. Can he beat the pitcher there? Lampe slides, and he's safe into first with a leadoff bunt single.
What a single from that bunt that was put so deep into the infield. went right towards Marcano. He came off the bag, and running over was Nick Hull, but Joe Lampe just diving towards that front right corner of the bag, and he is fired up here. Kyler Fedko having a word before he goes into the batter's box with Harvey Shapiro. But again, this could be an opportunity where you send Joe Lampe to second base, probably the fastest player on this team. And Harvey Shapiro, again, I said you might have to be aggressive on the base path, and I'm wondering if Harvey Shapiro is looking for that opportunity right here with Joe Lampe on first.
I think Harvey was maybe asking Kyler if he feels comfortable laying down a bunt right here and moving Lampe over to second. You got Locklear, who is in on the grass at third. You could very well see Fedko trying to lay down a bunt, putting a runner in scoring position with one down for Anderson. Just depends on how comfortable Fedko feels. Lampe chased back on a pickoff move by Hull. Hull, a 6 foot, 190-pound senior from Grand Canyon University, where our own Hunter Omlid will be pitching next year. We'll see what Fedko does. See if he opts for the bunt or swings away. Lampe was just caught, and he's picked off. He was leaning too much. And Nick Hull, that is a big blow for the Braves here in the ninth. One down.
Yeah, really spoiled the top of the ninth comeback that we were looking for. Not necessarily comeback, but just to get that lead. And boy, that is a deflating play for the Bourne Braves.
And he was out, definitely got him leading. Good job by Hull. One down, and a fresh count to Fedko regardless. Backing up at the bag is Locklear. Fedko will be swinging away right here. Hull ready. First pitch, and Fedko sends a drive into left. Heading back at the wall is McKenzie, and makes the catch just shy, 2 away. That ball was headed deep out there, but McKenzie backed up right near there. Almost 2 shots for Fedko today, but nothing to show for it.
Jeez, talk about McKenzie making those plays on Kyler Fedko. He's put 2 in pretty much the same position. The last one was well over the fence, but McKenzie spoiling the day for Kyler Fedko.
Here's Max Anderson. And he sends a drive high and deep to left center. McKenzie's back. He's going to make the catch on the wall. I mean, 2 balls that couldn't be closer to heading out of this ballpark. And McKenzie just goes right against the wall. I mean, he puts the glove up. The wall's not that high out there. Essentially, I mean, you don't call it robbing a homer. He didn't jump and rob it, but if those balls keep flying, they're out of the park. But McKenzie sticks that glove up, and the Braves, a deflating feeling. Lampe picked off, and 2 balls caught up against the wall right on the warning track. We head to the bottom of the ninth as the Braves bullpen and Eric Adler into the game, looking to help the Braves secure a tie with Orleans here tonight. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates back with you. Bottom of the ninth after the wind aided the Orleans Firebirds into two balls that likely would have been gone on any other night other than tonight. You see the flag out there in right center, whipping in from left. Those were two balls that were destined to be out of the ballpark off the bat, but both caught against that wall by McKenzie. Jared McKenzie, speak of the Devils, going to lead off the inning against the Braves closer. He has been dominant this year. It's Eric Adler, Daniel.
And just as I mentioned a couple innings ago that the wind had died down, it picked right back up. As you can see the American flag here from our point of view whipping in the wind. And I think it took 2 home runs away, one from Kyler Fedko and Max Anderson, and it spoiled the Bourne Braves offensive attack as now Eric Adler comes in. Eric Adler, this is his 6th game he's appeared in. He hasn't let up a hit. He hasn't let up a run.
I'd say that's pretty good stuff. Here in 5 games, Adler, first pitch to McKenzie. He is late on 95, 0-1. Well, I said it in the pregame show there'd be 3 homers for the Braves today, and, well, Daniel, there probably should be 3 homers for the Braves today.
And I believe we come back here later in this season.
We do. Yeah, we have 2 trips to Orleans today, so maybe the wind will be blowing out as the sprinklers have just came on the field. And we're going to have time call the sprinklers. It's just down the right field line. They're not on the entire field, but the fans are getting soaked.
A kid is running between. A kid is getting sprayed in the face with a. Oh my God! I shouldn't laugh, but that is good stuff.
Well,
no, I think he's enjoying it.
He's enjoying it. He's running in there intentionally, but
that's Cape Week, man. That's Cape Week.
This is one of the funnier things that we have seen. They'll try to get the sprinklers off, but they're just going all over the fans here.
Well, 10 o'clock, that's usually the sprinklers at home come on in my hometown, but I don't think they were supposed to go off just yet. You know, it's like icing the kicker. This is pretty much
yes,
icing
they're icing
McKenzie
Eric Adler.
and Eric Adler. If I'm Eric Adler, I want to request a couple more warm-up pitches, huh? I mean, these sprinklers are still going, and McKenzie's just kind of standing there, and Adler resting on the mound. But the poor guy, and like I was saying, before this inning began, with an 0-1 count now, Adler has seen 5 other games, not including this game here. He has not allowed a hit. He has not allowed a run. He has gotten out of every 9th inning with either a victory or a tie for the Braves. So he's looking to get out of here with a tie. But the sprinklers remain on, and they are scattering the crowd on the right field hill.
Eric Adler, as you mentioned, still going to get some warm-up tosses in. Well, the big crowd that was here to see Orleans walk it off in the bottom of the 9th, potentially, now having to scatter closer towards the home plate side of things with the now 4 sprinklers that are on, continuing to water this foul territory over down the right field line. The entire Orleans dugout out of the basement and onto the field, where Orleans field manager is trying to communicate with whoever does the maintenance, trying to figure out here what they want to do. It doesn't appear that it's going to turn off any time in the immediate future, so for now, we're going to take a quick break here in Orleans. We'll update you in just a few moments what happens as the sprinklers continue to wetten Eldridge Park. back here at Eldridge Park, where, well, the only solution is to put buckets, baseball buckets, over the sprinklers, and they are, in fact, sitting on them. So the only thing that's going to do is going to create an absolute mess of a puddle over in that right field area. You can't make this stuff up. I wish I was telling you a lie back at home that this was happening, but this is indeed going on.
Well, I have one side of my headset off because I want to hear this conversation between Harvey Shapiro and the Orleans Firebirds coach. And I can't tell exactly what they're talking about, but this is one of the more comical things I've ever seen during a baseball game. There are actual players sitting on actual buckets over actual sprinklers that are still on.
They're still on.
Unbelievable.
They are literally sitting there like security guards
And
you would see at a Major League Baseball game spread out across the right field and left field
That's
lines.
not sustainable. The water in there has to come out at some time, right?
Well, at least it's going to trickle out and just flood the area they're sitting in, quite obviously. But regardless, we're going to try to get this game in. Regardless, we're going to end this game in the bottom of the ninth, whether with it's an Orleans win or a tie that we are hoping for. Eric Adler in a 0-1 count. Digging back into the box is Jared McKenzie. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to replay ball. Adler comes set. 0-1 is a fastball swing and a miss. Strike two.
Sitting at that low 90s, mid-90s. Eric Adler with 92 there. That fastball is his bread and butter. It's going to get him out of the bottom of the ninth with a tie, but Reeves, I can't get over this. This is unbelievable. And follow our social because I'm sure this will be on there.
I'm sure Elliot Coker's got you taken care of on our social media. 0-2, fastball outside. Well, Daniel, we are, 2.5 weeks into the season? And I think we may have seen the most odd thing we're going to see all year, but somehow it'll find a way to top itself later on the season, I guarantee you.
Yeah, that's Cape League baseball.
1-2, skied on a foul ball over our heads into the trees beyond the road. Count remains at 1-2.
Where is that water going?
It's it's got to be just continuing to flood that area they're sitting under.
Meanwhile, Eric Adler is pumping gas on the mound here. 1-2, spoiled away foul ball from Jared McKenzie, who's made his name known there in left field tonight.
Yeah, he sure has. Adler looking to take care of business, and he steps off the back of the mound. Today, McKenzie, he singled in the second, reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth, and reached on an error in which Dalton Rushing just dropped the ball at first. So he is 1 for 3, but he's been on base all 3 times. Adler comes to a pause, now ready to go. 1-2. It's a slider, swing and a miss. Strike 3, 85, takes care of McKenzie. 1 up, 1 down in the bottom of the ninth.
So 1 out here, bottom of the ninth. The best the Braves can do is come out of here with a tie. But this West versus East division of the Juggernauts in their respective divisions has not disappointed. Would have liked to have seen a little more offense, but a 2-2 score during a windy night that was blowing in from the center field is as good as we're going to get.
First pitch, fastball, called strike here to Julio Marcano.
95 on the gun.
Yeah, he is pumping it. It's an effortless 95. Marcano 0 for 3 today with a fielder's choice that he reached on, and 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. 0-1, a slider that kicks up off of Burns' catcher's gear and onto the net behind the plate at the backstop. Taken there by Marcano. 1 ball, 1 strike on a picturesque night. Perfect 73 degrees, clear skies up above.
Eric Adler's last appearance was this past Sunday, the 4th of July, at Wareham in the 9th inning, 4-0 victory there.
1-1, Tardy on a fastball at 93 is Marcano. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 2 relievers of Eric Adler and Tristan Vreeling have proved to be quite dominant at the back end of the Braves bullpen. And Eric Adler with 10 strikeouts in his 5 innings of work, as on July 4th, a few nights ago, Adler closed it out, 1 inning, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Didn't get the save, wasn't save opportunity. 1-2 here to Marcano. Adler coming to the plate, a slider taken outside.
And I apologize. He has actually let up 3 hits, 2 of which came in the home opener save against Hyannis at Bourne Park in the top of the 9th, but no runs allowed from Eric Adler.
Fastball cut on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts, 95 on the gun from Adler. It was right in the strike zone, but Maricano could not catch up. 2 away here for the Orleans Firebirds. Last hope, it's the catcher Justin Mickness, with the Braves looking to secure a tie, their 3rd of the season if they can get it, here with Orleans. It would be the Firebirds' 2nd tie of the year if Adler can get Mickness to end this game. Wish we had extra innings to bring you, but not this year here in the Cape League in 2021, unfortunately. Adler, first pitch slider, catches the outer half, 0-1. Out of all the times we've seen Eric Adler and how excellent he's been, Daniel, this might be the sharpest we've seen him look thus far.
Yeah, he's a bit susceptible to walking some batters, and you see that he has 3 batters walked in the 5 innings. It's not terrible, but just in the small body of work that we've seen, it's the one thing that stands out.
Fastball, swing and a miss up in the zone, 95 miles an hour, and the Braves are 1 strike away from knotting things up 2-2 tonight with the Orleans Firebirds.
But in the same breath, he hasn't allowed people to make contact, so that's kind of the double-edged sword.
0-2 from Adler. Fastball that is a called strike 3. Late call from the home plate umpire on the outer half. It didn't really appear to be close to the zone, but the Braves will take it regardless. Called strike 3 of Justin Mickness. And tonight, the Bourne Braves and the Orleans Firebirds tied at 2-2. So the Braves pick up their 3rd tie of the season. Their record will go to 9-1-3. But regardless, Daniel, it's not a loss, and the Braves pick up a point in the standings. That's big because Cotuit lost tonight. So the Braves, after Cotuit beat them, Cotuit will stay with 12 points, and Bourne will go to 21 points with a big lead in first place over the rest of the teams in the Western Division.
Yeah, still some things to work on. Still are dealing with that weakness of leaving men on base, but the Braves get out of here with a 2-2 tie. Eric Adler with another impressive performance. He is the premier closer for this team. And no real excitement from either side on this picture-perfect day with the sprinklers now wetting the field. But again, it's the same story for the Braves. Good defense, good pitching. Need more than 2 runs if you want to get it done and walk away from Orleans with a win.
Yeah, back-to-back nights where the Braves collected 9 hits, and last night they were shut out. Tonight, 2 runs to show for it. And potentially, though, Daniel, the wind really helped Orleans secure a tie. This is a game where if you're the Braves, you hit the ball hard, but at the end of the day, there's 3 balls that would have been out of the ballpark on any other given night here at Orleans. So you can't shake your heads. You hit the ball hard. It just didn't work out in your favor. The Braves leave some runners on, but it was nothing too crazy like last night, just some balls that didn't go their way as far as McKenzie out and left saving the day multiple times.
And if history repeats itself, what a better team for the Braves to go up against if you want to get the bats going than the Falmouth Commodores. Yes. We put up 13 in the first appearance. I believe that was 9 in the 6 in the second. Flip it around.
Yes.
6 in the second appearance. So, we're used to hitting it on the Falmouth Commodores, and hopefully we do.
We'll take a tie 2-2 tonight. The final line score, the Braves 2 runs on 9 hits and 1 error, and for Orleans 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Eric Adler shuts the door to share a part of the tie with Orleans tonight. Tomorrow night it'll be the Central Michigan right-hander Jordan Patty on the mound. A 6 p.m. first pitch between your Bourne Braves and the Falmouth Commodores in a Western Divisional matchup tomorrow night. For Daniel Coates, my name is Reeves Jackson. Thank you for joining us tonight. And here, just a little after 10 p.m., we say good night and welcome you to join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m.